Hi. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you may remember when I watched the movie Halloween Puppy something like 3 years ago. This was a movie about a boy that was obsessed with Halloween, and also his mom's boyfriend got turned into a full-grown dog that they referred to as a puppy for the whole film.
I'm a puppy?
In that video, I also discovered a treasure trove of some of the greatest B movies that I've ever had the pleasure of watching, all directed by one man, David Decatur. One of the things that I've noticed is that David has a penchant for creating films that could be categorized as lightly creamed corn, you know, because of the stylistic choices that he makes across his film. There's a lot of shirtless guys. It's also why I was surprised that I got a comment from the official YouTube account of YouTube on that video saying, I know exactly what I'll spend the rest of my day watching. Thanks, Ted. Because I don't think that they watched the whole video. But in looking into this director's early pieces of work, I think I have discovered the most unhinged kids movie of the 1990s that he directed, which is a movie from 1998 titled Alien Arsenal. Let's read the synopsis, shall we? Ralph and Baxter are two high school nerds who are often tormented by bullies at their school. They find a secret chamber which contains a horde of high-tech weapons and armor. Their superhero dreams become reality. Hello? Yeah, this obviously sounds like it's gonna be the greatest movie of all time. So with that being said, let's jump into it. Immediately, right off the bat, the movie opens up to what appears to be a car chase in the streets of Los Angeles. We are introduced right away to the main character of the film, Ralphie, and what's happening is that he's fleeing from a gang of bullies that are after him, and they are out for blood.
Just leave me alone.
Oh, Ralphie boy!
One of the things that you'll notice about this scene is that these teenagers are really good at driving. They're peeling around corners at like 50 miles an hour. Ralphie spins out his car randomly in like the middle of the street, and then he begins to drive backwards and then does another crazy driving maneuver to right himself and keeps going. He's driving like James Bond. Like this looks like a Red Bull YouTube video. What's great is the clear cuts back and forth between the professional stunt drivers in the outdoor scenes to the actors in the stationary vehicle with just a blue screen behind them and no indication of movement. Like, where are these boys driving? The sky? Are they driving to Hogwarts? Ralphie is quite literally running for his life, or at least you think he is, because the manner in which he's driving is putting his life on the line. Like, sure, yeah, it's bad to be bullied, but you're also driving really recklessly. You could just like fucking die. But before we keep talking about this movie, we've got a sponsor today. Thank you to Paradise Paws for sponsoring this video. This is a game from the makers of Midas Merge, a game that sponsored me last year that I am not even joking, I played throughout the entire summer. I'm level 51. And now they're back with Paradise Paws, a charming Merge 3 game where you inherit a once thriving animal sanctuary on a mysterious island that's now in need of care. I've been trying out Paradise Paws lately, and let me tell you, I'm liking it for the same reasons that I like Midas Merge. Plus some extra. You've got all these cute little animals that you've got to save, and you know what? Some of them are a little bit sassy, I'll admit. They got some attitude, but you know, I'm doing it for the sake of the merge. And what's great is that you get to discover the new forms of the animals when they grow up from the little tiny babies to their full-grown forms. And this type of game is super easy to play just when you're trying to kill some time. Something as simple as collecting little sunbursts that you use to unlock more areas. I personally get a kick out of collecting as much as possible, and then I can just open up a bunch of area all in one go. It's very satisfying. Plus, it's free to play, it's ad-free, and there's an offline functionality, so you could, for instance, play it on a plane and wouldn't have to pay $40 for in-flight Wi-Fi. And best of all, there's no dead ends, so you can keep playing as much as you want. And also, they're launching a brand new sanctuary as a major new chapter in the game's story. They're introducing new mysteries, a completely new winter setting, and yeah, a bunch of new adorable animals that you can collect. And if you download Paradise Paws from my link in the description or the QR code on screen, you'll unlock an exclusive gift right at the start that'll help you speed up progress. And it even comes with my name. It's bad for the ego, but good for you. So go check out Paradise Paws through my link. It's a fun style of game, and I'm sure you're gonna like it. Now let's get back to the video. Now, to be clear, there are two ways that you can look at this movie. One is obviously through the lens that I can't ignore, which is as an adult commentary YouTuber, these kids are too good at driving for me. They are hitting way too many quick time events for this to be realistic. But the other way that I will try to tap into throughout this movie is the kid mode. Specifically the late 90s kid mode. Gushers commercials, respect the pouch, you know what I'm talking about. Moon boots will let me dunk like in the NBA. Playing with the early 90s Ninja Turtle action figure hand-me-downs from my friend's older brother type wonder, capiche? And if I'm to tap into kid mode, visual meter, this shit was sick. If I'm watching this when I'm like 10, it's telling me in just 6 short years? I'm gonna be driving like this? Hello. I'd like to think that this is just something kids were naturally able to do in the 90s, just a generation of prodigal drivers that is only documented in this movie. So Ralphie is chased by these bullies all the way to Mount Limbaugh High School, where most of this movie takes place. And they proceed to full sprint chase him into the school, even passing by like several faculty members in the process of doing this. Not a single one of these teachers thinks it's a little strange that one student is running for his life from a pack of other students. Like, what are you doing? Either way, Ralphie loses the bully so that he can finally, oh wow, look at these guys. I'm having a hard time understanding the fashion ensemble here. What's with the tight shirts, boys?
Why don't you guys pick on someone in your own income bracket? Chad. Bet you're real sorry you opened your mouth, huh?
Don't call us rich. It makes us insecure, Ralphie. So these are some of Ralphie's bullies. We've got Monty, Chad, and Lance. They pretty much just threaten Ralphie. It doesn't seem like they really want anything from him, which makes the car chase confusing, but Ralphie says,
Man, I hate those preppy buttheads.
Preppy? Those outfits don't look they're more aerodynamic, if anything. They look like they just came from a lodge after skiing, but it was too hot, so they had to take their jackets off. They certainly don't look like what preppy is in the 90s. They look like backup dancers for Britney Spears. Later on, one of the things that we learn about Ralphie is that he's very into comic books and superheroes. So much so that he is caught by one of his teachers drawing in class.
Ralph!
Also, just as a sidebar, this scene is one of the moments that I just enjoy from the perspective of seeing how aesthetics have changed in movies over time. Like, every shot in this scene could not be placed in any other decade than the 1990s. They've pumped so much haze into this room that it looks like they should be evacuating the school, but they're breathing that shit in. Many of the shots are filmed at this funky canted angle like we're watching MTV. It looks like they're living in like a Spanish textbook, if that makes sense. Either way, after class, Ralph and his best friend Baxter are lamenting over the fact that they have to go to their next class that they signed up for, which is Introduction to Manual Labor.
We've got our Introduction to Manual Labor class next. We have to go down to the basement and help the construction guys dig up the new teacher's lounge.
Which is a crazy concept for a class at a public school. Maybe at a trade school that would make sense. But in this scenario, we're implying that there's a workaround for basically the local government to acquire child labor from their students.
So why did you take the class?
What? You don't believe a woman's capable of manual labor?
Why is it that every time I get under your skin a little, you bring up the whole women's rights issue?
What do you mean? That's a crazy thing to say. Way to play the women card, Baxter. Ralph and Baxter also talk about Ralphie's crush, Felicia Sinclair. She's the head of the cheerleader squad, but more notably, she is dating another bully of Ralph's, Flash Gunderson, which is a perfect bully name, 0 notes. My favorite thing about Flash is that his branding is on point because he wears a lightning bolt on his chest. Does he think that people are gonna forget his name if he doesn't wear like a symbol representing it on his chest? Flash sees Ralph looking at his girlfriend, and he does some classic bullying. He gives some very grotesque threats.
Next time, I'm gonna rip off your head and spit down your neck.
That's nasty, dude. Just say you'll kill him. But through this exchange, Baxter and Ralph end up late for their manual labor class, which is taught by a very fun character, Mr. Lip Kiss.
Now I want to start seeing some serious sweat and blood around here. Hold it right there.
He's got this militaristic drill sergeant personality, which obviously fits very well into the nature of the class that they're in.
What do we have here? A couple of AWOLs? Not on my watch, no sir.
And again, that's what's so awesome about this movie and why I kind of like it despite its many faults. Because a lot of the actors in the grand scheme of things do a great job. Like, he is nailing this part. Unfortunately, none of their excuses for why they're late are enough for Mr. Lipkiss. So Baxter and Ralph are punished by being forced to polish the walls of the area that they're actively excavating with toothbrushes. There's not even drywall on there. Why are they polishing structural brick? But in the process of toothbrushing the wall, they discover it's a little bit loose. So in a fit of curiosity, they pull the entire wall apart and they discover a secret door. Not the Barbie kind. An alien door.
I do not think this is a good idea.
Take a Xanax, okay, Ralph?
Damn, she hit him at the prescription level. That's crazy. So Baxter opens the door and it is revealed to be the highly technological marvel that is the Alien Arsenal Vault. That's really impressive.
The lights came on when you stepped in there.
Did we need to explain that? We just watched it happen. So Baxter and Ralphie are exploring this alien vault, and I'm watching this, and I can't help but point out, they clearly spent a good amount of money on this movie. It's shot well, it's lit pretty well, there's extras everywhere. This isn't a student film. And the main central point of this movie is the alien arsenal. Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys. Whoa. 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 No! No! Like they've got alien door. They've got alien doorknob. They've got alien centerpiece, even alien screen. So why the hell wouldn't they just make a couple of alien shelves? They went so hard with everything else, but then to hold all of the props, these are like shelves from Staples.
These look like guns. Maybe they're props for a movie or something. Or toys.
It's at this point in the movie that it starts to feel like they're adding lines to explain why the props look so cheap, which is a funny subversion to make, I guess, because you'd expect alien technology to be made out of like an advanced alloy or something. But it's coming off like they just didn't have the money in the prop department.
These feel like plastic.
Like the cover of the movie is what they discover could destroy the world. But then in the movie, they're like, God, this shit was not constructed very well. What is this made of plastic? What is this piece of shit? This is not good. Yeah, it's rubber. This is like shit out my fucking ass. Either way, they get worried that they're gonna get in trouble for being in there, so they seal the wall up and get out of there. Now, while Baxter and Ralphie were checking out the alien vault, we get a shot in space of an alien spacecraft where the aliens get notified that someone has opened the door to the vault. I guess they didn't know where the vault was, and when it's open, they can track where it is. It is a little confusing why, as the creators of the vault, they didn't just generally have that information on them. But either way, the aliens follow the signal and go down to Earth to disguise themselves as humans to find the vault. And the next day, Ralph and Baxter are hanging out at school, and they are confronted by the coolest new kids in town, who get possibly the most 90s entrance of all time.
Whoa, what's up with the new kids?
We got our next class with them, so don't stare.
Continues to stare at them the entirety of the time they walk by. So it appears that the aliens have managed to disguise themselves as new students from out of town at their school and managed to enroll in class in like 24 hours. This is also one of my favorite things about when a movie has an alien comes to Earth in disguise trope, because they manage to do all of the hard stuff like creating a perfect representation of human anatomy. But when it comes to like not making them fully stand out with their fashion, they're like, we just don't know how people dress. This seems like an anti-European movie. Any of the clear antagonists in this movie are dressed like they're coming back from Paris Fashion Week. But of course, Baxter has a totally level response to these new classmates.
God, it's like looking at another fucking race or something.
Whoa! Baxter, what the hell? Okay, first of all, crazy to call them a different race because they are, at this point, at worst, coming off as socially awkward. Like, we know they're aliens, but Baxter doesn't know that. So that's a low bar to be dropping that line. Also, Baxter drops an F-bomb in this line.
Like looking at another fucking race or something.
So now I'm unsure if this is even a kid's movie. They for sure weren't dropping F-bombs on Nickelodeon, I think. I think this is the only time that someone swears in this movie, too. At other points in the movie, they're saying, like, butthead.
Man, I hate those preppy buttheads.
Saw you, butthead.
And it has to be the line where Baxter's like, seems like a different fucking race or something. That's crazy. Later on, Baxter and Ralph decide that their best plan of action for the alien arsenal is to sneak back into the school with duffel bags and basically just grab everything that's in the vault. Why are they straight up looting this mystery room? There's no clear reason for doing this. Ralphie honestly frames this like taking all of the weapons is going to free them of worry.
Let's just get what we can into our lockers and be done with it.
Why is taking everything from the vault getting you out of a situation? They could have just ignored their existence and been fine. But they're like, just gotta take everything. We just gotta take everything. I'm sorry. Also, hiding a duffel bag full of guns in your locker at school? Just inherently insane. While Baxter's taking her duffel bag to her locker, she runs into one of Ralph's bullies, Chad.
Hey, baby doll.
Chad decides this is a good time to start flirting with Baxter, but he does this by kind of like, he's like flirting with her, but bullying her at the same time.
What do we have here?
Oh, that's just some stuff I had sitting around in my locker.
Let's take a look and see.
Hey baby, how you doing? Cool, cool. Now let me see what's in your bag.
You have a bag full of toys in your locker?
Yeah, it's just a bag full of toys. That's me. I'm a big, fat baby goo-goo.
I think that Baxter is projecting here. Because normally, I would let this line pass. I wouldn't think anything of it. If Baxter did not have a giant fucking photo of a baby in her locker. She wants to be a big goo goo gaga baby. That's a weird piece of lore. Why does she want that? Chad points one of the guns at her, assuming it's like a squirt gun or something. Then when he shoots it, the gun fires backwards into his face because it's an alien gun. And then he's caught in this crazy swirling portal and disappears. It's kind of scary, honestly. So obviously, upon this discovery, Baxter and Ralph then head to a different part of town to test out their newfound weaponry.
Man, you should have seen what happened to Chad. It was awesome. Well, not the part about him getting all shot up and stuff, but the rest of it.
What part are you talking about then? Because that was like the whole thing. The part where he disappeared into the portal of unimaginable horror? That was the whole event. Ralphie is reasonably like, okay, Baxter, that's fucked up. Someone is dead now. But then Baxter shows him her belief that she thinks it's actually a teleportation device of some sort by making a trash can disappear. So now they're totally comfortable with playing with the rest of the weapons.
It doesn't weigh a lot.
Obviously, since the prop guns aren't the best and they're implying it in the writing, we have to properly set expectations here for the testing of the weapons. Like when you're implying that something is flimsy and plastic, that's probably preparing the audience for the, oh my God! Oh. Yeah, so that's where the prop budget went. That's why they don't have good props, is because they spent all their money on stunt drivers and pyrotechnics.
I hate to say this, but this is incredibly freaking cool.
They also discover these pairs of gloves that let them transform into PUBG characters with level 3 helmets. But again, they just cannot help shitting on the props.
I feel really stupid in this outfit.
Just don't mention it. They just created an explosion that people would hear for miles. But of course, it's not the police who come to check this out. It's the troublesome triplets, aka the aliens.
The new kids.
Who are you? Return to Arsenal at once.
Arsenal?
This, Ralph.
So yeah, the aliens start shooting at Ralph and Baxter while they run away. It becomes abundantly clear after each contiguous explosion why they did not have a budget prop for this movie. Now at this point, Baxter and Ralph have totally switched positions on the whole alien guns thing. Ralph was at first hesitant because one of their classmates disappeared into an alien portal, but once he kind of felt like a superhero with the weapons, he's like, well, that's a different story. Baxter's like, we have to go to the police. We almost just died.
We have to take this to the police or something. It's getting way out of hand.
Well, maybe we shouldn't be so hasty.
Oh, no.
Also, I don't think that they're very good at gathering context clues as characters either.
Now, for whatever reason, we find these things after they've been buried underground for maybe hundreds of years. And I doubt whoever or whatever made them is gonna be around to come looking for them.
Brother, they just did. They just did come looking for them. They literally told you to give them back.
Return to Arsenal at once.
Arsenal?
This, Ralph.
Not only did you get attacked by people using the same type of weaponry, but they're directly asking you for yours. Either way, Ralph has decided that this is how he's going to get back at his bullies.
Weapons and stuff, they're ours now. And we could use them if we really wanted to.
With the weapons.
How would you like to get even with Monty and Flash and all those guys who keep picking on us?
Crazy cut. That's a crazy cut to make. Thankfully, they do not brutally murder all of their bullies. What they do is they show up to the boys' locker room and they give Flash a little shakedown. Just to scare him a little bit, list off his crimes.
We are here to render final judgment against you, Flash Gunderson, for your crimes against humanity.
What crimes?
You have preyed upon the weak and smaller around you. You've also abused your position on the football team to terrorize the innocent and also to date all the really hot chicks, so nobody else gets a shot.
They basically demand that Flash gives up his jock ways and that he has to become a straight A student. And when he refuses, they threaten him with the teleportation gun, and it's honestly kind of scary what they imply with it.
That sounded like Chad Gears.
So wherever Chad is, and given how pained his voice sounds, I'm pretty sure that that gun teleports people to hell. From the Bible. They even describe it to him as hell without saying it.
That's where the bad people go, Flash.
That's terrifying. After scaring Flash, Baxter and Ralph start testing out some of their devices. They find some walkie-talkies, even a pair of X-ray goggles. They're seeing through people, checking out their bones, checking out their teacher's bones. Gross! And this is one of the reasons why I think I would have loved this movie as a kid. Because this is trying to hit on that specific late 90s, early 2000s fantasy that at least I had as a kid, which was being a spy. There was Spy Kids, Totally Spies, Barbie Spy Squad. That's actually a perfect example. For some reason, every kid wanted to be a spy. Mostly because of the gadgets. Real life spy? Neurotoxin in a whistleblower's coffee. Boo! Fuck you. Me spy? Me look through wall. Me see person through wall. Committing sexual harassment. Oh, I'm sorry, I got things confused. That's what Ralph does when he turns his goggles to the school and he sees Felicia being harassed by one of his bullies. Sorry, I'm actually talking about the movie again. Let me explain what's going on. Ralph's crush Felicia is staying a little bit longer after class, and that's when Lance, one of the preppy bullies, walks into the room, and you can immediately tell that things are not going to be appropriate.
Nice curves.
Oh, hi, Lance.
Lance decides to try to put the moves on Felicia, but what he doesn't realize is that his body contains the soul of a creepy 68-year-old man that's got like 6 restraining orders.
Hot little ticket like you? No, see, I'm thinking quiet dinner for 2. Candles, wine, nice music, just you and, me.
This slick act might work with some of your junior high girls.
Whoa!
The more you say no,
No!
the more I'm thinking you really wanna say yes.
Great.
She's like, great. He's working on opposite day mindset. Fuck.
Lance, I don't think you know how much trouble you can get in for this.
What? With school? Rich kid like me gets a slap on the wrist and doesn't even go on my permanent record.
Man, he's really saying the quiet part out loud here. Thankfully, Ralph ends this entire ordeal by showing up in his suit. He absolutely beats the nuts out of Lance. Then Lance pulls out a knife, like he's a jet in West Side Story, then threatens to kill Felicia.
You don't clear out of here, I'm gonna cut her open. I mean it!
And this is when Ralph has one of his first, like, genuinely cool lines.
I believe you.
Damn, that was badass. Of course, Lance gets sent to hell from the Bible. He was going there anyways. And Ralph gets a kiss on the cheek. Now, this is where things get complicated, so try to follow along. Mr. Lipkiss finds the alien vault. It allows the triplets to find it as well. They send Lipkiss to hell. And they realize that Ralph and Baxter have the fushigi they need to run their Armageddon device, which is a self-explanatory name. The alien screen in the room is counting down to when Earth aligns with their planet, which will let them download something from their planet to destroy the world. While this is going on, Ralph is going through some character development himself. He goes to a diner and stops a robbery from happening, and then he's just like, well, I guess I'm just like cool now. So he sells all of his comic books, buys new clothing, and gets context, and shows up to school looking completely different. Baxter thinks he's becoming a piece of shit, but all the girls at school think he's hot now. He even stands up to Monty by pinning him against a tree and threatening him. And Ralph also basically admits to killing his friends.
I'm gonna do the world a favor and take you right out of the freaking program. Just like Chad and Lance.
Where are your friends, Monty? Oh yeah, I just remembered. I used an alien gun to send them to hell. The alien triplets see this happen, and they can only for some reason assume that this change in personality in Ralph is because he has access to their weapons.
Notice how he has changed within the space of a single day. He has our arsenal, I am certain of it.
That's like saying that somebody became more confident because they own a Glock. And they're technically right in this instance, but I don't agree with the logic. So they basically recruit Monty as their own ally to bring on their side to defeat Ralph and get their arsenal back. Another thing I'll point out in this movie is that Flash has completely taken the scare tactics to heart. And when we see him next, his personality is completely changed. He fully becomes a nerd. Like his entire brain was broken by the trauma of potentially being shot by a hell gun.
I'll catch you later.
Are you feeling okay?
Later on, Baxter and Ralph are back at the spot where they tested the alien weapons, and it's in this moment for the first time that they're coming to terms with the fact that the weapons that they have are alien weapons.
You think this stuff came from outer space?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it is.
It took you that long to figure it out? Then Monty shows up in a trench coat, and Monty has been sent to get information out of Baxter and Ralph, so I'm sure he'll just try to rough them up a little. Oh, holy shit! Okay, no, he's just trying to kill them. He just wants them dead. He doesn't really understand the assignment he was given. I love his face here. He's just like, fuck, I suck at shooting this thing. Ralph and Baxter escape, and they decide that they need to fight the aliens and Monty because things are getting really dangerous, and they need to fight back and save the world and stuff. Separately, for some reason, Flash is studying at the high school at 10:30 p.m. at night, and Felicia shows up and breaks up with him. I'm thinking it's because he had an entire personality shift in like 24 hours, and she just wants to get out of that situation fast. And I don't blame her. The two of them hear the alien triplets walking around the school, and they go to investigate. Ralph and Baxter show up suited up to the school, and they run into Monty, and they get into a fight. Which, even though they have these alien weapons, it ends up being just like a lot of hand-to-hand combat in the hallway of the school. Even when Ralph has an opportunity to use one of the weapons, he just like hits Monty with it. They're doing stunts, they're throwing each other around, pieces of their costume are flying off in the shots. Monty wins the fight against the two of them. He takes Flash and Felicia as hostages and brings the arsenal. Baxter and Ralph spent a lot of time looking for them, saying that
We're gonna have to use these to find those guys. They could be anywhere in the building.
kind of confused on why they didn't start at the vault, like the one place that all of this has started from. But in the end, they find them. Monty tries to fight Ralph, but Ralph manages to knock him out with a punch, which, by the way, according to the behind the scenes video I found, is a real punch.
He actually punched me, so...
He actually punched him in the face. And instead of shooting the aliens because they can block lasers, he shoots their Fushigi power source. And this is the best part of the movie, because I love when they have the actors do things physically to help sell the visual effects. And they've been doing it the whole time. All of the triplets start shaking uncontrollably. It looks like they're all nutting simultaneously. And they're basically being pulled into the hell portal. On top of that, an awesome part that happens too, just from a blocking standpoint, is that you can see that they wanted Monty to also get sucked into the portal, but Ralph had just punched him onto the ground. So they have Monty's actor get up from the ground and kind of slowly walk and pretend that he's getting sucked into the portal. I'm getting sucked in! I'm getting sucked into the portal! And all the bad guys get teleported away to hell. Ralph gets a kiss from Felicia, they're probably gonna start dating, and it all ends happily ever after. And that was the piece of cinema that was Alien Arsenal. Overall, this movie isn't the worst thing in the world, but it is certainly the craziest kids movie I've ever seen. And if I saw it when I was a kid, I would have loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it's been so long since I've posted. Be sure to subscribe and comment. Smash the like button. And, bye. Ugh. Growing up, I was raised Catholic. My understanding of Christianity as a kid was pretty much dumbed down to every Sunday being forced, against my will by the way, to show up in a very cold, large room while a man would speak in tongues I didn't understand over a microphone, and sometimes we'd all have to sing. But the problem was that a lot of the older crowd didn't really know how to sing, so it seemed like it was just in a room full of moaning zombies. Thinking to myself, man, this would go so much faster if I had my Game Boy Advance SP. These days, Christianity isn't a huge part of my life, but towards the end of last year, I started getting barraged on Instagram Reels by a type of content that I had never seen before. Christian influencers started popping up on my feed. I didn't even know this was possible. I stopped caring about that stuff years ago. And the internet is for me. Why is it showing me this? It turns out we're living in a new era of religion. Some might even call this the 9th major crusade, and we were due for one of those because the last one happened in 1291, so we're almost 800 years overdue. Much like the significance of man discovering fire, some Christians have discovered the power of brain rot.
Adam and Eve were caught on camera.
The devil doesn't want you to know that heaven is real.
Circle ain't no stopping. Jesus got me in cockpit.
Did you know that this minion didn't die for you? Jesus did.
And it is beyond your wildest dreams. Let me just first say, I'm not the first to talk about this. There have been plenty of other creators who have touched on Christian influencers. One of the earliest, I think, was my friend Andy King. So you should totally check him out if you don't know him already. He's a very funny boy, and he's got jokes, and he's sweet. But since they got on my radar, these videos have continued to show up on my Instagram feed, and I keep watching them, so they keep getting recommended to me, to the point where I ended up going just deep into a rabbit hole on the subject. I just kept digging, just kept going deeper and deeper, swiping and liking, swiping and liking. I just kept going. I couldn't stop. I just kept swiping and liking. I couldn't stop. It had me by the balls, I'm telling you. It had me by the balls. There's a variety of titles that you could give these characters. Preachfluencers, insta-pastors, algorithm evangelists, perhaps? We're gonna start at the surface level. I'm gonna start you guys off with Christian Influencers 101. These are folks you may have seen already if you've seen other videos on the subject. Or if your Instagram algorithm is in tune with the psycho-crazed state of your mind, like it is for me. Here's one of the first ones that came up into my feed around November of last year.
The devil wants you to think he's Spider-Man, but he's not. He's the devil, and he wants your soul. But if you don't want to give it to him, double tap the screen and share this blessing with a friend.
Whoa. Needless to say, I was instantly hooked. There's so much to break down in this one. This deserves an Oscar. First of all, we've got our hero, Servant Mindset. We could consider him to be somewhat of an investigative reporter on the most breaking news coming out of Christianity in the modern era. Most recently, the devil wants you to think that he's Spider-Man, but he's not. He's the devil. I think you can understand why this is important work. You've got what I can only assume to be Jesus, dressed up like Where's Waldo, and he's hanging out with SpongeBob, who is not addressed once in this reel. And then we've got a fantastic caption. Is Spider-Man low-key a demon? That's a good question. Is Spider-Man low-key a demon though? This Instapastor has hundreds of these videos, all in varying levels of ridiculous.
You see a burger, double tap the screen. Now squint your eyes. Do you see some fries?
But one of the most important hooks that he uses is that the devil himself does not want you to hear his message.
The devil will do anything to make you scroll past this. The devil made this little girl fall while running to Stitch.
And some of them just make me wonder, why would the devil want this?
The devil wants you to think that this is a bowl of rice, but it's not. Look closer and squint your eyes. Don't be ashamed. Share this with a friend.
I'm so freaking pissed right now. I'm so freaking pissed right now. Jesus is at it again. Trying to prevent people from sinning. Ah, that sucks, Lord Satan.
How are you going to respond?
The only way I know how. I'm going to make people believe that he's a bowl of rice. What? A bowl of rice. No, I heard you, but why?
Because that's what I want.
I'm the devil, and I want people to believe that Jesus is a bowl of rice. Okay. Are we brainstorming right now, or is this your final plan?
And then, of course, at the end of every reel, there is a call to action, where if you actually want to fight back against the devil, you gotta double tap the screen and send it to a friend.
Type God is good in the comments. But if you want to laugh with Jesus, share this blessing with a friend. Make sure to share Jesus with the world.
This is overall a routine that you've probably seen before on the internet. It's indicative of the lowest form of influencer slop possible. But it's especially manipulative, in my opinion, when you're utilizing people's religion to do it. These days, everybody's parents and increasingly grandparents are on social media. They've branched out from the warm womb of Facebook and they've spread out amongst the stars. And we are so proud of them. My mom sends me an AI image she thinks is real almost once a month. So when this guy says to say amen in the comments, you best believe every peepaw and meemaw, every goo-goo and gaga's in those comments praising the Lord. And while most of us are giggling at this, he's got Gen X wrapped around his pasty white finger. But before we keep going, this video is sponsored by Incogni. I recently got a text on my phone that told me that I needed to settle a road toll payment in order to avoid fines and the possible suspension of my license. This spooked me at first, but then I realized it was saying it was for Easy Pass, a service that's only available on the East Coast, and it came from tenengshia898@icloud.com. These were obviously spam and scam. And what this means is that my information, and very likely yours, has been sold. There is an entire industry that lives under the surface of our lives where data brokers are selling your information to businesses and marketing agencies, which leads to more spam calls, texts, and emails. And specifically in the United States, people search sites are a pretty big problem. These are websites that contain a wide range of information, from addresses to property data to financial data, and anyone, including employers, landlords, even strangers, can access your personal information this way. Even a crazy ex.
And I know some of you don't want that.
While you can request data brokers to delete your personal information, the process can sometimes take hundreds of hours to do and often requires repetition. Some of these companies are resistant to this request. And this is where Incogni comes in. All you need to do is create an account with them and tell them whose personal data they'll be removing. Then once you grant them the right to work for you, they'll contact data brokers on your behalf and request that your personal data is removed. And they'll handle any objections from data brokers and keep you updated every step of the way. If you're also interested in taking control of your privacy, head to the link in my description. If you click the link, you seriously help support the channel and you get a pretty big discount, 60% off the annual plan. Thanks so much to Incogni for sponsoring and you for sticking around, and let's get back to the video. Half of his videos are some advanced form of Simon Says.
You have to close your right eye and put up a peace sign. Put a finger on your cheek, double tap the screen, and squint your eyes. Loop your nose and close your left eye. Now double tap the screen and squint your eyes at 70%.
This guy's probably giving a grandma in Tennessee a heart attack over these instructions.
Snap your finger with your left hand and double tap the screen. Close your right eye and clap your hands twice. Now double tap the screen and squint your eyes. Double tap the squint your eyes and squint your eyes twice and double tap the screen across your phone. Double tap the nod your head. Now double tap the screen and sign up with your hands and double tap the screen. Now squint your eyes. Grab your nose. Squint your eyes. Double tap the screen.
And Servant Mindset is going to do everything in his power to make these videos work for the algorithm. Scrolling through his Instagram profile, he goes through different phases where he'll try to do normal Christian content, but they won't pop off. And then you can see him relapse and he's back to making AI Where's Waldo content. But he occasionally experiments.
How many ogres do you see in this picture? Double tap the screen if you see Jesus.
In all of the videos from this guy that I've watched, this is the one video that he does a British accent and then he never does it again.
Have you seen the devil in the Mona Lisa? Look at the Mona Lisa very closely. Now squint your eyes. Do you see him?
Unsure why he's implying that the Mona Lisa, the famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci, the very likely Catholic Renaissance painter that is also responsible for the most famous depiction of the Last Supper from the Bible, would be hiding the devil in his paintings. You might as well be saying that the devil is hiding in the Last Supper.
The devil got a hold of this picture and you'll never believe what he did to it.
Oh no, he does. It seems that these creators spend most of their time thinking of new strategies to get people to keep watching their content beyond a millisecond.
Can't even explain this video because it's so crazy. Listen.
Obviously, a lot of it is against the devil.
The devil doesn't want you to watch this video because the prayer I'm about to pray over you is no ordinary prayer.
The devil doesn't want you to hear this prayer because this prayer that I'm about to pray, it's a prayer that some people try to pray, but they don't pray it quite right. Me though, I pray good, and the devil knows that I pray good. So if you want a prayer right now that the devil definitely does not want, pray along with me and listen to my prayer and share it with a friend.
But sometimes it's because God is going to speak directly to you through their content, like they're a conduit or the Pope.
In the next 8 seconds, I believe God is going to powerfully speak to you right here, right now through this video. In the next 14 seconds, I believe God is going to powerfully speak to you right here, right now through this video.
Of course, you have to complete their Simon Says.
Would you do me a quick favor, friend? Hey, just press the copy link button 3 times. Would you do me a quick favor, friend? Hey, just press that copy link button 3 times. It will literally push this message out there. Press the copy link button 3 times. That will push this message out there to more people.
But once you've done that, half the time God speaking through the reel is just vague advice.
Listen, if you rush into a relationship, you will be stuck in a relationship. Don't be foolish.
I don't think that God is giving low-tier advice like that.
Holy light!
I must speak with you, child.
Yes, Lord. What is it?
Don't spend all your money on DoorDash.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, that's super fair.
Yes, it's financially irresponsible.
Totally get what you're saying. Yeah, no, I should probably save it or put it towards a house or something.
This has been the word of the Lord.
Thanks, God. By the way, while we're chatting, what are the odds that you could maybe end human suffering or something in that vein?
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Did he hang up on me?
At this point, we've reached the honorable mention category of this video. These are some one-off reels that I came across that I thought I'd highlight, but they don't fit into a particular category. But they help describe the vibe of what I'm seeing from Christian Instagram across the board. As a collective, they're all drinking from the same delusion-flavored Kool-Aid that makes them have an interesting perspective on the world that most people wouldn't have. Like this Christian diamond industry pundit who puts an interesting spin on his industry.
There's a reason that God gave diamonds to the poorest people in the world and made the richest desire them. Bridging that gap, I mean, that's what the diamond industry is about. Bridging that gap, that's tikkun olam, that's fixing the world. And that's why we have a diamond industry. And so moving that money from the richest people to the poorest people, I mean, that is tikkun olam, that is fixing the world.
Oh my God. I couldn't have thought of a more ridiculous representation of colonialism if I tried. Bridging that gap. That's what the diamond industry is about. How's the gap doing? Have we bridged it? Surely those areas are economically flourishing at this point. Should we go check together? That's like saying that God created 9/11 to give Americans a better sense of community.
So, God, how are we going to solve the eventual issue of inequality in between humans?
Oh, I've already figured that out.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Oh, well, I'm just going to give the poor people a valuable resource that the rich people want really badly, like so freaking badly that they'll do anything to get it.
Huh. Well, wouldn't that create a situation where only the poor people would get exploited and then the rich would benefit?
Maybe. Or it might just bridge the gap.
Okay. Bridge the gap. So are we brainstorming right now, or is this your final plan?
It's insane. This one's probably coming more from the angle of someone who's made the entirety of their wealth off of the diamond industry and is just using religion to justify it. But there's some other angles that are taken, like creating relatable content where you're talking about situations as a Christian where you've got to hide your cross necklace when going to public events, or hiding the fact that you pray, or hiding your Bible before all your friends come over. Respectfully, I don't think that any of these situations happen to you. This seems more like a scenario they made up in their head in the shower.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a Christian. Man, what if people got mad at me for praying?
And then across the board, there's a variety of Christian musicians posting their creations. But my favorite is this girl doing a Christian freestyle.
Yeah, like I said, Jesus is the epitome of everything good. That's why he does things that we never could. Why he was able to put himself up on that wood.
You can tell she's thinking about that last line.
Up on that wood.
She's like, was it a bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was a bar. Oftentimes, Christian influencers will make content that is essentially just forcing innocent bystanders to engage with their religion and then posting it to the internet. Like this one account here, he basically just goes around to various businesses and just yells about how Jesus is real.
Hey, Jesus Christ is real. I just had surgery yesterday, and God's helping me already. Actually, it was 2 days ago.
But he doesn't just talk, he also promotes his music.
Hey, yo, everybody! I want to let you guys know that Jesus Christ is real.
Fire at the stronghold, shutting down the bondage. Imaginations that are built up against what God said.
That is a long line at that Chipotle, and you know the people that are like 75% of the way through are like, shit, I came at the wrong time. I'm just looking for my after-work burrito, dude. Honestly, I think that putting someone in a situation like this might actually make them turn to God. And he promotes his music to everyone that he meets. Even when he orders pizza, he's promoting.
Huh? I'm doing really well. How you doing today, sir? Good.
Fire at the stronghold, shutting down the bondage. Imaginations that are built up against what God said.
I love how over the course of this video, this poor man is just slowly backing away. He's like, I got 3 more stops after this. Maybe if I back away slowly, he won't notice me leaving. And it seems like this guy asks pretty much everyone if they believe in Jesus, even in situations where that would just be totally inappropriate.
Yes, sir. I know you're my public defender and you seem like an intellectual individual. Have you ever accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
If you're talking to your public defender about this, I don't think that you're in a situation where you can be choosy about your lawyers, dog. There are also other types of Christian influencers where their job is to create content that purely validates their specific view.
Do you know there's proof and evidence of Noah's Ark? Watch this.
The bow of the ship going all the way around to the very back of the boat. Then you see this boulder that came, some people feel it came through the side because the ark originally was up here.
Brother, that is a hill. That's an incline. You're not looking at a boat.
Do you believe in flat earth or do you think it's crazy? Do you know what sounds crazy? The sun is supposedly traveling at 400,000 miles an hour, while the earth is traveling at 60,000 miles an hour, 66 to be exact, and spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, while the moon is only traveling at 2,000 miles per hour. How does that logically make sense? Yet the Bible says the earth is stationary.
I love how he's given all these numbers for the various speeds of the heavenly bodies, and he's just like, listen guys, there's so many numbers here. How does any of that make any sense?
Did you know stars are actually angels? Watch this.
A group of researchers say they've identified at least 7 stars that might be surrounded by super advanced alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres.
So this guy believes in flat earth and doesn't believe what the science says on that. But the moment that scientists come out and say that there is possible evidence of an advanced alien civilization based on a small subset of data that could possibly indicate the usage of Dyson spheres, you look at that and you say, stars are angels, dude. Like, he's having a fully different conversation than the evidence that's being presented in the reel itself. I think the only reason he's saying this is because a Dyson sphere kind of looks like one of those accurate angel depiction images, and that's it. But other times he'll just use his platform to preach his view.
Oh my, that right there was my brother in Christ, Tanner, who is now giving his life to the Lord and lives sold out for Jesus. I used to be a drug addict, a sex addict, a liar, a thief. I was a drug dealer. I was lost in the world, living for the world, pounding beers, getting drunk.
Dude, if you want me to follow the word of God, you should not be showing your brother doing the fastest slug of a beer I've ever seen. If I was God running the show and I saw someone do that, I would have a different response.
All right, my favorite game, heaven or hell. Who do we have next?
It's like a Christian influencer's brother, Lord.
All right, what did he do?
We've actually got video evidence right here.
Ooh, all right. I've seen enough. Send him to heaven.
No, Lord, this is actually a sin. He's supposed to go to hell.
I don't know what you're talking. Did we watch the same video?
Yes, Lord. He engaged in gluttony.
Yeah, and it was sick. Send him up. Send him up.
Okay, I'm confused.
I saw what he did. I thought about it, and I determined, yeah, no, that was sick. Send him up.
I'm hearing you. This is pre-textbook on something that would be considered a sin.
Michael, who made the universe in 7 days?
You did?
That's pretty fast. Haven't heard anyone else make one of those in a week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, fair. Okay, we'll send him up.
Fuck you. I should say, I very, very rarely, if at all, see these Christian influencers come from the denomination that I grew up in. I'm sure they exist, I'm just not seeing them. Often they're gonna be one of those pure-blooded American homegrown denominations, such as evangelical or Seventh-day Adventist. You know, some sort of offshoot of Protestantism. Pretty much every motherfucker that burned a witch at Salem and then made their own startup church. I should also mention, when I'm talking about these ridiculous Christian creators, I'm not saying that the entire belief in God or Jesus is bad. I personally would consider myself to be agnostic, but at the same time, I've also witnessed the good that can come from faith-based organizations. Like Tucker and I went to Kenya in November, and we saw directly the work being done by a Kenyan-founded and run organization that partners with US churches to build schools for children living in slums. Like, that's not a problem for me at all. It leans more towards what being involved in a religion should be about, in my opinion. Helping your fellow man and not trying to manipulate someone's faith, which is what the majority of these Christian influencers are doing. Manipulating people's faith. Why? For money. Bold, I know. But what else am I supposed to think? Like in the majority of Servant Mindset's captions, he's got a donate link as well as his PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, and Cash App. He's also legally classified as a nonprofit. He is making religious SpongeBob SquarePants evangelist brain rot, and he doesn't need to pay taxes. This feels like a recipe that would get you into hell. Like you follow this pathway for a little bit, and all of a sudden he's a mega church pastor with a private jet. Right? Like this other Christian brain rot preacher, Katie Hawk Ministries. She's doing the same thing as Servant Mindset, creating regular Christian brain rot.
Look at this picture closely. Do you see a Kit Kat bar? The devil doesn't want you to know that Jesus created everything.
And I understand wanting to spread the gospel, but there's a level of irony in doing so by commanding the viewer to double tap the screen and look at AI slop in order to get that point across. It's almost like you're trying to build a following so you can sell the books that you have linked in your bio in your Amazon store. Or sell some of the sickest Christian merch I've ever seen. Hope dealer. Yeah, you could say I'm a Jesus junkie. God is dope. Hustle hope. Holy with a hint of hood? Like, who is this for? People are allowed to build a following and sell merch. It would be strange if I positioned myself against that. But you can at least be honest about it. Using religion to do it is about as shitty as taking a gambling sponsorship. Because there's no way that you're not taking advantage of people in the process. There's also a level of irony in how much of a crutch AI images are for these people. You're inputting a prompt into a machine to generate an image that creates a silhouette of Jesus, and then implying to the viewers that their ability to see it is a sign from the heavens. That's incredibly dystopian. Another common trope that I'm seeing with this particular brand of Christianity I'm seeing promoted online is this belief that commanding things to happen in the name of Jesus will actually make them come true. And sure, believing in miracles is a pretty common aspect of Christianity. It's part of the religion. And again, at a base level, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Don't fucking try to terrorism me. Do not terrorism me with a bomb or a gun. But for some of these Christian influencers, they're utilizing it for their own personal business. And it reaches a level of specificity where it becomes almost unreasonable for even religion to solve. Like with our final and possibly worst account, where upon discovering her, I was asked a very simple question.
Do you have the craps?
Whoa! Maybe? Why are you asking me that?
Let's be real. The flu is going around, norovirus is going around, and from what I've heard, diarrhea isn't just lasting 48 hours, it's taken a week or two for people's bowels, intestines, and stomach to get back into alignment.
This is the preachfluencer Kathy DeGraw. And as you can tell, there's a lot to break down here. First of all, at the beginning of every one of these pieces of content, she highlights a possible ailment that you might have. From something as painful as kidney stones.
In the name of Jesus, I command all kidney stones and gallstones in your body to crush right now.
To something as simple as having allergies.
Hey friends, I want to pray for those allergies right now. My entire family was on allergy medicine and we all got off.
And the whole idea is that she is commanding these physical ailments to go away in the name of Jesus. And she gets real specific with it.
So I decree all rogue immune cells will not attack your gastrointestinal system in the name of Jesus. I want to pray for someone's thyroid right now. I apply the blood of Jesus to your thyroid.
Don't do that to my thyroid. I don't want blood flowing over my thyroid. Erotic description that she was given there.
I command the oil of the Holy Spirit to flow over your thyroid.
Don't do that to my thyroid. And that's pretty much the majority of her content across the board. She chooses an ailment and basically commands it to go away.
I proclaim the tissues in your digestive tract do not swell.
My question is, how is this any different than just saying you're a wizard? Right? Like at a certain point, she decrees that a miracle will happen on your thyroid.
I command a creative miracle in your thyroid.
Is she allowed to do that? I feel like this is a Jesus-only thing. At what point in the timeline did ministers or priests get to the same power level of Jesus where they could make miracles happen? If I had to identify out of everything that we've seen today, something that was probably blasphemous, this would be at the top of my list. But the reason why I'm highlighting this person is because they are the most unfiltered example of the manipulation that can come from a Christian influencer on a potentially vulnerable audience. What's interesting, and I never thought I'd hear myself make this critique, is that in all of her reels that I've seen, I don't think that she mentions the Bible once. What she does mention is all of the books that she has available for purchase.
In my new book, Healed at Last, I have precise prayers to pray over your thyroid. And in my book, Healed at Last, I have declarations for the colon, the intestine. In my new book, Healed at Last, Overcome Sickness.
They're in every single one of her captions. And they're filled with essentially just prayers that she wrote that she's claiming will be able to heal people through the power. All right, it's the Christmas season. Snow isn't falling in Los Angeles, but it gets down to 50 degrees at night, which means that something is different.
Santa's coming to town, baby. Santa's coming to town.
Christmas movies have been made for all time, since like the Middle Ages or something, since antiquity. But there are some classics that have burrowed their way into the cultural zeitgeist. You got the Santa Claus, Christmas Vacation, The Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of. I love Christmas movies, I do. Almost to the point where it's poisoned my mind. One time in 2018, when I was applying to internships in film school, I was on the phone interviewing for a very notable horror movie production company. And at the end of the interview, they asked me what my favorite movie was. And I blacked out and I said Elf. The Will Ferrell Christmas comedy. Needless to say, I did not get the internship. That's like interviewing at Lockheed Martin and saying that your dream is world peace. You're just not right for the job. And so I wanted to do another terrible low-budget Christmas movie review this year, and I honestly didn't think that I would find anything. That is, until I found this gem of gems. It's a movie from 1998, and it is called The Boy Who Saved Christmas. And looking at the cover art, it seems like your average run-of-the-mill innocent family movie from the 90s. But I assure you, it is nothing like that. Also, I love the tagline, no job too big, no job too small. To this movie, all jobs are medium. This movie introduces new Christmas lore that had to have been thought up by some enlightened LSD hippie or a college stoner. And to give you a hint, here's the synopsis. Santa's evil twin kidnaps him with the plan to reverse Christmas forever. But he hadn't reckoned on a brave little boy and his friends who set out on an adventure to rescue Santa and restore Christmas to its rightful place. I'm sure that you have a lot of questions based on that. Rightfully so, as did I. Reverse Christmas forever, reverse Santa. What does that even mean? So without further ado, let's jump right into The Boy Who Saved Christmas. Immediately as the movie starts, I am blown away by the title card. It looks like a rough draft that they took all the way to the finish line. Did they hire the boy on the cover to make this in 1998 MS Paint? And I know it's the 90s, so the digital world isn't as fleshed out, but oval ornaments? Come on. Don't start changing the shapes of the ornaments, all right? We're a bit far away from allowing creative choices like this. Just make a good Christmas tree. And as the names of the people involved in the production started showing up, I realized that they were also just slapping what looked like random Christmas-themed clip art on the screen. Andre Bork, give him a snowman. Dana Woods, toss some elf shoes in there. Colin McLean, give him a moon-shaped Santa. Amy Stromer, yeah, we're running out of clip art. Give her a moon-shaped Santa again. Anyways, let's start the movie. So we open the movie by introducing us to Jeremy, the main character of this movie. He's writing an email to Santa's official email address, I guess, and he's talking about how all he wants for Christmas is for his parents to get along.
What I want for Christmas is for Mom and Dad to get along. Your number one email pal, Jeremy.
Wait, hold on. Who the hell is this? That's a different kid. This boy is not the boy on the cover of this movie. That's a fully different boy. Different hair, maybe 3 to 4 years different in age. Did they just forget to get a photo of the main actor and then just like grab a kid off the street? Also, nothing against blue eyes in general, but this kid has striking blue eyes. You know, he kind of looks like that photo of Miley Cyrus. It's like I'm getting flashbang. Oh, hey, Jeremy, what's... Ow! Ah! Put those away, man. All my homies hate the blue eyes. That sounds bad, saying it out loud. Hazel for the win. So basically, Jeremy sends this letter of unrealistic expectations to Santa in the most 90s way possible. That animation has to be using all 200 megabytes of memory that this computer has. I honestly am probably overshooting how much memory this computer has. Next, we show up to the North Pole, and Santa is being shown his new cyber room for the first time by an elf named Pointer. Unsafe vibes that Atlas is displaying towards his brother. If I was Santa, I would be like, fuck that, and I would shoot him with a gun. No.
Isn't it wonderful?
What
What's wrong with it?
That's a great question, Santa. That's exactly the question I would ask. But then with just enough forceful language from Atmos, Santa gets in the chair.
You really must sit, brother. Sit your big hips down. Sit in the chair, brother.
Check it out, I got you an ankle massager. That doesn't look very safe to me.
But it was a present.
Oh, well, I guess it's okay then. He just kind of does what he says. He just rolls over. It was obviously a trap. And then Atmos says something even more terrifying. That's not how Jeremy is the most pure of heart boys.
Speak up, Bob. We're all ears.
I bet it's a great tree, right, Dad?
He's like so kind. And based on the way the rest of his family is, I have no idea how Jeremy ended up this way. This doesn't track. He should be loaded with trauma right now. Later that night, Jeremy's sending additional letters to Santa, but he's not asking for anything. He's just kind of checking in with how Santa's doing.
Santa, I hope you have time to write me back. Please let me know if there's ever anything I can ever do for you.
And you know he's not getting any replies, so he's just got this one-sided parasocial pen pal situation with Santa going on. You don't think that anything happened at all? So back at the North Pole, Atmos' henchmen have rounded up all of the elves and are keeping them in like a janitor's closet. They basically realize in order to help Santa, they have to get him his magical hat.
He left behind his magic hat. We need to find out where they sent him.
Apparently if Santa doesn't have his hat, he's just like a guy. Then Atmos comes in and pretends like he caught them, even though he was the one who put them there in the first place. So they're showing that Santa is half remembering the fact that he had a hat that he could utilize to do the magic that he would do. But for the mom, whose only context is this is a man dressed as Santa Claus who doesn't remember who he is, and is now being pitched as someone to live in her backyard, and is constantly itching his nose. He kind of just looks like he's addicted to coke. He looks like a coke addict. Like, look at him. He looks actually insane. So now Jeremy calls all of his friends over to try to help Santa jog his memory back. And this results in just like a bunch of kids sitting on Santa's lap and asking for toys. And then Jeremy sits on Santa's lap and hasn't let go. He's not letting go of me. And he's not letting go of you, folks. I discovered Pete through YouTube Recommended like a month and a half ago, I think. And I used some of his videos in Carson's latest Weird YouTube Channels video. In an ideal world, pretty much entirely that video would have been filled with Peter Kane. It would have just been a video about Peter Kane. I'm doing a video just on it, okay? The other 1% door is that there is nothing in his attitude that would indicate that this is the case. So Peter Kane Dog Training, his channel is based mainly off of dog training. The majority of his videos are about dog training. If you take a colander and you start sifting through all of the dog training crap he does, you find some real fucking gold. So the first thing that we're gonna look at right now is Pete's description on his YouTube channel. I think it's fucking hilarious. Peter Dog Training is owned by Peter Kane. It makes sense. Mr. Kane is a dog trainer, artist, and comedian. But get this, after eating Bigfoot meat, his debilitating hip was no longer a problem. The power of Bigfoot. Obviously the first video of screw kids. Get a bird. If you want to have a happy and fulfilling life, don't have a kid. Who the heck wants a kid running around? Not in a raven's house. It's not the kid's house, it's the raven's house.
Do you have a child? Maybe a raven wouldn't be such a good idea.
He's implying something along the lines of your kid is going to be murdered by the raven, so...
Love is not enough for the raven, it's the truth.
Love hurts, and sometimes so do ravens.
They need a lot more than that, and you can't just let them do whatever.
You can't just let the raven carry a gun around the house. That'd be dumb. What's so ridiculous about this video is that he just seems so fucking fed up with this damn bird living in his house, so he's making this video as like a warning to people. Like, you really have to be blocked to want to own a raven as a pet. Pete is not just an expert on birds. Don't be fooled. He knows a lot about a lot of things. Quite literally, one of them is him just going to the store to get crackers, but somehow he just makes it so enthralling.
I'm at Wegmans. I need Mary's Gone crackers, and this is the only place that sells them.
Are you kidding me, Pete? He's already won me over. I mean, he's covered all the bases of what I would need to like in a YouTuber. He hates his fucking pet raven, and he goes to Wegmans. I go to Wegmans.
Look at that. What the hell cool is that?
So clearly me and Pete are like on the same wavelength right now.
I can't eat regular crackers. It's just like eating bread.
Like, he's got this opinion of crackers. Like, I think what's objectively creepier is that Pete has all of this just in storage at in his barn.
Fuck. I can sense it. I can sense the clown.
He can sense the fucking clown. Like, he's got this fucking spider sense, but it's only for clowns.
Ah, fuck! Ah, God
And then it just ends like that. Just him changing all of the angles and him dying by the clown. The description of the video is man videos attack on his property. Medical attempt out of his bat room, I suppose. And he just starts just viciously insulting the bat.
Look at that little bastard. That's a motherfucking vampire bat, right? Look at that motherfucker. He was fucking growling at me like a fucking monkey. Look at that little freak. Look at how he's hanging. Hanging by that little fucking claw. It's crazy looking.
It is not moving, not doing anything. It looks almost cute in this moment. It's kind of creepy, but he's talking about it like it's the most disgusting amoeba of a creature ever.
You can stay there until tonight, Mr. Vampire Bat. You make a root beer and you dope it up the way that only Red Bull can with
dope up root beer is the words that he's using right now.
All right? And then after you make the product, contact Jack Daniels and maybe you two can get some kind of marketing thing going, like Red Bull root beer and Jack.
Red Bull root beer with Jack Daniels. Hopped off the caffeine, you get the wonderful flavor of root beer and you get drunk. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to drink one of those before you go to work, before you commute to work? Come on. Okay, so yeah. That's fucking Pete. So clearly through this video, I hope I demonstrated that there's a lot more to Pete than meets the eye, alright? He's a dog trainer. He's had his run-ins with clowns. He's a jack of all trades. He does it all. If there's one thing that I want to come of this video, is I want an exclusive interview with Peter Kane Dog Training. And I need you guys to make that happen. Tweet at him, freaking comment at him, and say, give Ted Nivison the interview. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hope you liked it. Follow me on Instagram at Ted Nivison and follow me on Twitter at Ted Nivison. I post some freaking spicy memes there. Catch you around the block, kiddo. Don't get mauled by a raven. I may have found the strangest Halloween movies that no one seems to know about. It started with this movie, A Halloween Puppy, but from there it took me on a journey to unearth some of the strangest films I have ever come across. So I suggest you watch this until the end because it gets interesting, that's for sure. So let's start from the beginning. I was doing some digging on the internet looking for some low-budget Halloween fun to celebrate this month. When I came across this film, A Halloween Puppy, what appears to be a wonderful family-friendly spoof. The ratings for this movie were through the floor, so naturally I had to get my hands on it. Unfortunately, this movie was removed from the only platform it was available for streaming on, but that did not stop me. I scoured the internet, checking every single grimy back corner website I could find just to have a taste of what this movie had to offer, to no avail. It was like the movie had been scrubbed from the internet, so naturally, my curiosity was exploding. I had to order the DVD of this movie and then purchase an external DVD player in order to even watch it. Look what just came in the mail. I am so excited for this. A Halloween Puppy. Look at that cover art. That is beautiful. Wow. That's something else. So let's read the synopsis of the film. A boy accidentally turns his mom's boyfriend into a dog. Oh, well now I gotta see this. And is this movie as bad as the ratings suggest? Yes. Yes, it is. The movie starts off incredibly promising with an animated intro of ghouls and goblins, making you think, hey, this movie's gonna be pretty spooky. It's gonna have all of those things. It seems like for the intro, they forgot it was not just about Halloween, but a Halloween puppy, because suddenly stock photos of puppies start appearing as if they were an afterthought in the intro sequence. It also might be important to note that none of the puppies shown in the intro are ever the same type of breed of dog as the one that's on the poster of the movie, which is the only dog featured or ever seen in the movie. The film establishes the story taking place probably in the greater Los Angeles area in what looks like a $10 million mansion, and then immediately cuts to this incredibly long shot from the perspective of someone walking down a hallway. This is intended to be spooky, but it goes on so long that it seems like that they forgot that they were filming. And cut. Sammy, cut. Cut. Cut! Whoa, what? Sammy, I called cut. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, sorry. I was thinking about the Eiffel Tower. Like, why don't they just call it French Tower? Wait, hold on. Let me see that shot first.
We might have something here, son.
We're then introduced to two of the main characters, Adam and his mom Linda, who works as a veterinarian. She's coming home from work, and her idea of greeting her son is to tell him that a monitor lizard swallowed a chew toy at work, and then gives him that chew toy as a bit, and he acts like that's the best joke that he's ever heard.
I thought my son could appreciate a fully chewed chew toy.
That's just gross. Why would he want that? Adam's main character trait is that he's obsessed with Halloween, to the point where he acts like this.
Oh, by the way, can I have a Halloween movie night? Please.
What? How old is this kid? He's gotta be 17 years old in this movie. Why is he doing a little kid beg to his mom to have a Halloween movie night? That's a little strange. So then Adam goes to sleep, and What? Where did the budget for the title cards in this film go? They spend all that money on the intro? So the next day, it's Adam talking to his mom about how he doesn't want to go to college, with Adam making reference to the literal mansion that they live in as a fallback option, I guess.
Besides, look at this house. We live like kings.
And then his mom gives the weirdest explanation for why they're living in this mansion.
No, we live like people who got a great deal on a short-term rental because a formerly sick Pekingese had a very grateful owner who also just happened to be a real estate agent.
That sounds less like a real reason and more like an alibi. Linda, what happened to the previous owners? What did you do to them, Linda? They spend time talking about one of the central plots of the movie, which is Linda's boyfriend, Ted, being very predictable, and Linda feels as though she's in a cycle where every time they hang out, they're just doing the same thing and their relationship is going nowhere. This whole conversation happens when they are this close to each other. That is like 2 feet. If my mom got that close to me in a conversation, I would be like, whoa, what, am I in trouble? Adam has all of these plans for how he wants to spend Halloween because it's his favorite holiday, and he wants to be able to use his mom's car for Halloween night. His mom responds with this.
It's Halloween, okay? You're gonna be in ghost, ghoul, movie overload, okay? Google-eyed, let's see. Driving on 2 wheels, dreaming up new monsters. Absolutely not. I'm driving.
You're telling me that this kid has such a significant Halloween addiction that he's unable to operate a motor vehicle? This has become a disability for him? That's worrisome, to say the least. We're then introduced to Ted, played by Eric Roberts, who was also this guy in The Dark Knight. I just thought I would mention that. And he comes in with a box of donuts, but he weirdly does not eat a single donut and instead is just licking the frosting from the inside of the box. Sir, stop, sir. Linda then tries to talk to Ted about improving their relationship before he goes to work, but he is a weird, clueless man. And then he leaves for work and Linda's like, sick. Later on, Adam is setting up the Halloween decorations, which feels a little late in the game given the fact that it's the day before Halloween. And we're introduced to the classic and literal girl next door, Molly. She comes out of the woods, nobody knows from where, and she's here to show Adam a spooky book.
Look at this. It looks cool. Kind of like the Necronomicon.
What?
I had the same reaction, Molly. The Necronomicon? He's talking about the Necronomicon, which is a fictitious ancient book of the dead. If he is talking about what I think he is and just saying it wrong, that makes his reaction here even funnier.
The Never mind, I'll just show you the movies. You know, you seem so smart. And then you're so not smart about the things that matter.
You're such a fucking dick. You don't even know how to say it, dude.
Cauldrons, plants, animals. This is like some medieval witch's spellbook.
I mean, I guess. It looks like a Bible from a burnt-down Motel 6, but I suppose ancient spellbook is also an appropriate takeaway. This entire scene, and really the whole movie, kind of gives off Spanish class videos from middle school vibe. No sé por qué hicieron esta la película. I used Google Translate for that.
I don't know where we're going to get what looks like the horn of a unicorn.
Most of that stuff has modern equivalents.
How do you know that?
I'm just interested in it, that's all. No big deal.
There's a slight hint that Molly knows how to do magic, and then Molly goes inside to say hi to Linda, and they sit on this shot of the spell book for very long. Almost as if to say, book important. Book part of story. So Linda vents to Molly about how she's got some personal issues in her life going on, as they stand once again way too close to each other. And Molly suggests that Linda could use her parents' cabin to have like a getaway weekend. To which Linda responds with this.
Yeah, I've got some personal stuff going on, and I think going away for the weekend would be the perfect way to take care of it one way or another.
Why'd you say it like that? How did Linda manage to make an innocent conversation seem suspicious with that one line? She decides that the perfect time to go on this trip would be tomorrow. You know, Halloween. Her son's favorite holiday. Surely he'll be fine with that. And then she leaves to go call Molly's parents. We're then introduced to what I suppose are the main antagonists of the film, Nikki and Chad. They're Adam's neighbors, and they've basically come over to bully him and take Adam's Halloween supplies for their haunted house.
Halloween, huh? I like Halloween. I like seeing little kids scream.
This guy is gonna be in jail by 20 if he keeps saying shit like that.
We're making a haunted house. It's gonna be at our place.
Oh, neat. Yeah, it's gonna be the scariest thing you've ever seen. I don't know. I've been to the haunted hayride. Or the haunted hotel down...
No way. Ours is gonna be scariest. It's gonna be in our garage. It'd be totally scary.
Well, if you guys are involved, I know it's gonna be scary.
Yeah. This is a really weird conversation. It's like half bullying and half small talk. What is happening here? It seems like Adam is less intimidated by them as he is uncomfortable around them. Also, everybody in this movie refers to these two as the twins, and they all say it in the same exact tone.
The twins.
Oh no. The twins. Oh, the twins.
What are these guys, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum? Linda comes outside and tries to stop them from stealing from them, but then they just ignore her completely and steal the box. Also, that box has to be like 10 pounds. Why are they carrying it together? So later on, Linda fills in Adam with her plan to go to this cabin with Ted the next day, and weirdly asks Adam to come with her. You know, on Halloween.
And by now you mean in November, right? Not on Halloween, my favorite day of the year.
What a terrible mom. Also, why does Adam even need to be there? He's not involved in their relationship problem. And she gives the strangest justification for doing it on a whim.
Okay, look, I know it's a really big day for you, but I'll make it up to you, Adam. I mean, you are man enough to know that you have to, take care of things
come
like
on
this
now.
right away.
Adam eventually agrees and then proceeds to complain to Molly about it, who ends up also agreeing to come on the trip. And then Adam goes on another tangent about how much he likes Halloween.
I like going to Mr. Flyswatter's haunted garage and seeing what new creatures he's dreamed up this season. I like watching as many horror movies as I can on 3 separate screens while eating piles of candy pretending that it's human flesh.
He wants to eat candy and pretend that it's flesh?
You know what they give out around this neighborhood? Whole candy bars, not just those little ones.
He's trick-or-treating at 17? What is his problem? This kid needs to get some help because he is showing the telltale signs of a physical addiction to Halloween. Imagine if he did this for every holiday. He would be the weirdest person to be around.
What is going on, fellow high schooler Trent? Hey, what's up, man? You excited for Christmas break?
Yeah, Trent. My dad just bought a 45 and spikes for the fireplace. We're gonna get him for sure this year.
Huh, okay.
Brent, are you and your dad gonna try to kill Santa Claus?
And there's Santa, and there's Mrs. Claus, and there's the elves. Oh, there's the elves, all right. The elves are coming, they're coming, aren't they? And they're gonna...
Hey, Trent, what is wrong with him? Oh, that's just crazy Adam. He gets a little bit too much into the holiday spirit.
Did somebody say spirits? I love Halloween.
Oh,
wait, what?
shit,
What?
you made an
What do you mean?
So Linda convinces Ted to come to the cabin that weekend, and he agrees but says he has to show up after he's picked up his car from the mechanic. And that night, in order to cheer Adam up, Molly has Adam join her in trying to perform a spell from the Motel 6 Bible that she found. They perform a spell in which they say,
Ted, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
Which is just a famous line from The Day the Earth Stood Still, and also not Latin, which she said the book was written in. The spell does nothing at first, but then Ted comes along, asks them what they're up to, and when they respond, he says,
Neato!
Neato, which incidentally causes the spell to activate as displayed by this very high-budget VFX and sends a yellow orb into Ted's face, causing him to become tired and go to sleep. It's also abundantly clear that they shot Eric Roberts' scenes during the day and then attempted to color correct to try to make it look like it was still night. Oh, we're doing this again. Okay. The next day, Adam comes downstairs and discovers with Linda a dog that has appeared in their house. So that dog is Ted, who has been turned into a dog by the magic, and you can also hear his thoughts.
Linda! Oh, hi. Sorry I fell asleep on the couch. I don't know what happened.
So obviously, this is where the title of the movie gets its name.
I'm a puppy? Oh!
No, you're a fully grown English bulldog. This happens throughout the film, where the dog is very clearly a full-grown dog, but everyone insists calling it a puppy. And it makes me feel like this is the only dog that they could get a hold of. Like, they wanted a puppy, but they just couldn't get one, so everyone just pretends it's still a puppy. So Linda decides the best course of action is to take the dog with them to the cabin, and it's becoming wildly apparent that not even a nuke could stop this lady from going to this cabin. Also, this might be nitpicky, but at one point, Linda tells Adam, who's dressed in yesterday's clothes, to get dressed. He leaves to go do that. And the next time we see him, he's in the same outfit, and he wears that outfit for the rest of the movie. The drive to the cabin is a whole scene in this movie. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's made up of these shots of their car driving down a road with voiceovers from the cast that I can only assume had to be improv during the shoot.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
When are we gonna get there?
And Adam, well, he's still yelling about Halloween.
I'm supposed to be looking up, like, all this zombie stuff, but no, we're out in nature and...
It's starting to feel like his interest is less in Halloween and more in mentioning topics that vaguely relate to Halloween. As if he's constantly trying to prove that he likes Halloween, but just learned what it is. I think the best part about this driving scene, though, is how they facilitate the change of setting for the viewer. So here's them driving down the road. They're very clearly in California. This is very likely on one of the roads going on the mountains that surround the San Fernando Valley. Then it fades into totally different climate. Looks like a forest in Oregon. This cabin is far away. Then it fades into, oh, they're still driving in California. Maybe that was like a memory or something. Then it fades into, okay, so this is a very far away cabin. They end the drive in the same climate they started in. Either way, Crazy Adam, Magic Molly, Dog Ted, and Psycho Linda have reached the cabin. Molly brings Adam to visit, I think, her family friend who happens to live nearby this cabin and is also a witch.
This is my friend Adam.
Hello, Adam. You seem dubious.
No, ma'am.
These are like AI conversations given form. In her clairvoyant nature, she knows that Molly and Adam performed a spell and wants to help them figure out what it is that they did. So they bring the witch lady the book, and she says that it's a very powerful spell book and that you'd need extensive magical training in order to even attempt to perform a spell. But then 2 seconds later is like, oh, Ted turned into a dog because he said Nito.
You didn't say Nikto?
No, I didn't. See, we couldn't have transformed anyone.
Perhaps. As long as no one said Nito.
Wait, what? Nito!
My favorite part of this scene, though, is when she mentions the significance of the spell being done on Halloween, and Adam responds this way.
So, if I had done the spell on St. Patty's Day, I'd have a pot of gold right now.
Come on, man. The whole time you've been obsessed with the holiday, but the moment someone else places significance on it, he's like, I don't understand why this would be a big deal.
You're telling me that we turned my mom's boyfriend into a Halloween puppy? Oh, I'm so grounded.
He said the thing. That's the title of the movie. Is that what we're doing now? Just placing the name of the holiday in front of things that happen close to them? It turns out the solution is that they have to say the spell backwards at the place that it was cast in order for Ted to turn back into a human again, which is just like the undo button of spell books, I guess. As they're leaving, though, Adam asks the witch for proof that she's a witch so he knows that he can trust her, and she does this.
Okay, let's go.
Good luck.
Seems that they bought 4 templates for visual effects and they're just cycling through them. You may be wondering what Linda and Ted the dog were up to this whole time, because they did have a scene that was intercutting between the one I just talked about. There is a full 5 or 6 minutes in this film that is just Linda walking around with the dog, aggressively petting him, with Eric Roberts commentating the whole time. There's shots of the dog eating grass and then Linda joining the dog in eating the grass. They even keep in shots where she's trying to wrangle the dog and the dog clearly wants nothing to do with her, and they use that shot twice. Eric Roberts' voiceover starts to get a little bit more weird.
No, it's really the simple things. I'm tired.
Basically, after this, Adam and Molly return back to the cabin and they make up some bullshit reason why they need to go back to LA. So they drive back to LA, are about to do the spell, but whoopsie fucking do, the twins stole the spell so they could have it for their haunted house. Then the only way that Molly and Adam can get the book back is that they have to go through the twins' haunted house.
Perfect. We were just looking for you.
These two need to be in jail. The haunted house that the twins made looks like they're just getting their garage painted or something. Like, this is the climax. This is the haunted house that we've been hearing so much about.
Are you okay?
I'm starting to think that Adam doesn't actually like Halloween, if that is something that Molly needed to check in with him about. He's getting scared when a prop bat the size of a baseball falls in front of him. So they finally reach where the book is and they get ambushed by the twins. So we're just like, we're gonna beat you up. That's the entirety of our plan here.
Oh, listen to you, big boy. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna lay down on our altar and be our victim for the week.
Do these guys have a fetish for crime? Plus, they're doing a haunted house, and one of them is dressed as a cowboy. The least scary option for a Halloween costume. That's just a man that lived in Texas in 1912.
Yeah, we're gonna kill you over and over again all night and spray you with fake blood and guts and stuff.
What's going on here? What's happening? Either way, in the craziest twist of events in this movie, Molly decides in this moment to reveal the fact that she can use magic. She does like a Naruto jutsu and then creates another yellow orb and scares the twins away. I'm starting to think that the only magic that people can use in this universe comes in the form of yellow orbs. In the end, Molly and Adam reverse the spell, Ted turns back into a human, makes up with Linda and promises to improve their relationship. The twins apologize for being criminals, and finally, Adam and Molly get a Halloween smooch. Terrible movie, but that's not where my story ends. So I initially thought I might want to do a double feature presentation for this video where I find another terrible Halloween movie. So I started looking at the suggested movies that were from the same director. I found this movie called 666 Teen Warlock. I was like, yes, this seems like it's going to be incredible. But this is when my search for low-budget Halloween movies took an interesting turn. Here's the synopsis of the film. A witch informs a teen that he'll become a warlock on his 18th birthday. Okay, very cool premise. Sounds like it's going to be maybe a Harry Potter or Percy Jackson type scenario. All right. The intro to this movie is also wild. This is gonna be sick. This is gonna be badass. I'm gonna keep the summary of this movie straight to the point and very short, because coming off of this movie after watching Halloween Puppy was really, really weird. To give you an idea, this is the opening sequence of the movie.
Hey Candace, I'm Larry. I go to this school too. Is Candace long for candy? Because you look good enough to eat.
Okay, this kind of sets the vibe of the entire film. So basically, it's about this kid Larry, who's visited by this witch who tells him he's now the gatekeeper of the world and has to stop an evil demon named Kevin from taking over the world and killing him. This one is also shot in a mansion, but this time the justification for them being there is that it's a private school.
So you're still in high school. Ugh, great.
It's a private school.
But they made zero effort to change the hallways and rooms to appear as anything more than just someone's house. I started noticing in this movie an increase in men taking off their shirt, or just having situations that they cannot find their shirt. There's a guy whose whole character arc is he just can't find his shirt.
Hey, did you guys find a shirt for me yet? Guess not. Oh, I'm so confused. I just came down here to get a shirt.
He just can't find his fucking shirt. By the end of the movie, not a single man is wearing a shirt, and they have seemingly no intention to put one on. There's also the headmaster of the private school who at one point goes on this, like, misogynistic rant.
As a young man like you can be taught, improved. But the same can't be said for the opposite sex. They're, mischievous creatures, illogical, and they don't listen to authority.
There's Kevin the demon that the main character is fighting, and you can tell he's a demon because he's got a big-ass fucking horn in the center of his forehead. And the only real power that the character uses in this film is the ability to command people to do what he wants them to do with his mind. Okay, alright, something's going on here. The actual teen warlock part is 30 minutes long. And then there's an additional hour of these three women that are in a theater watching other B movies with men with their shirt off. What relation did that have to the original movie? So I thought, okay, the main substance of that movie was pretty short, but it was funny. It was weird. Although I should probably find another movie to talk about and make it kind of like a trio of sorts. So I decided to order the DVD of this movie from the same director, David Control. It's called Three Witches, and I'm like, okay, doesn't seem like anything could be off here. Probably just gonna get the classic campy B-tier movie horror. It showed up in the mail, and I looked at the cover art and I said, oh, this cover art looks different than what I had ordered in the mail. 7 shirtless men have been added to the cover. So this is when I realized something was going on here. So I went to the director's IMDb page. David DeControl's filmography is made up of pretty much softcore, softcore. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetized, so for this reason, I'm going to refer to it as lightly creamed corn. A lot of his movies are lightly creamed corn. However, in the marketing for these movies, they don't really say that that's what you're getting. The posters, the log lines, everything makes it appear as if you're gonna see a classic horror B movie. I didn't realize until I was actually watching them that they were not totally that thing. Then when I looked at David's earlier work, it started to make a lot of sense. Wicked Stepbrother, Frankenqueen, Nightmare Mansion, Boy Crazies, Bigfoot Island, Voodoo Academy. Are you noticing a trend here? But nothing would prepare me for the monster of a title that is Bigfoot versus D.B. Cooper. Oh my god. There's no way this could be lightly creamed corn, could it? This is a screenshot from the movie. Great. Which is a shame because seeing a mysterious man that hijacked an airplane in the 1970s go toe-to-toe with Bigfoot is a concept I would pay blockbuster money to see. There's also an implication in the title that they're of the same power level, like this is a match that we've been waiting years to see. When did they become rivals? Was it before or after D.B. Cooper hijacked the plane? Did Bigfoot have a flight to catch and D.B. Cooper ruined his holiday plans? Bigfoot goes toe-to-toe with his ultimate rival, the guy that stole a plane, causing him to miss Thanksgiving dinner with his dear mother, Big Mom. Also, Eric Roberts is also in this film. How does he keep getting Eric Roberts? Does he owe David money? After Halloween Puppy, David started making more films that were based around speaking animals, such as Easter Bunny Puppy, a talking cat, a talking pony. So it appears that A Halloween Puppy was his first attempt at making a family film, and he still couldn't resist just adding a little bit of David magic in there.
Listen to you, big boy. Yeah, we're gonna kill you over and over again all night and spray you with fake blood and guts and stuff.
The titling of his movies can also get a little strange, such as Bunker of Blood: Chapter 6: Zombie Lust: Night Flesh. That is a loaded title, especially when I realized that chapter 1 through 4 of that saga aren't even listed on IMDb. And to be honest, I don't even know if they exist. Inherently, these movies are intended to be niche, and I understand that there's a market for them. There's nothing wrong with that. But to give them posters and titles that make them appear as if they are normal movies, David is being a ruthless businessman. There could be potentially thousands that have unintentionally watched homoerotic, lightly creamed corn. And for that, I salute you, David. It's kind of a baller move. I had no idea that finding this movie, A Halloween Puppy, would take me on a journey like this, but my god, I hope you found it as ridiculous as I did. Happy Halloween!
Oh yeah! What's up? It's the holiday season. Everybody knows the drill. Okay? The mainstream media says it's the holidays, guys. The mainstream media wants you to buy presents for everyone. It's a capitalist scheme. Everybody knows what happens this time of the year. A species of gingerbread man called the Chimichanga Boys will arise from the Earth's mantle in order to mate. This only happens every 10 years, but I think people have the timeline wrong. People seem to be wanting to make gingerbread houses every single year in order to house these creatures, but in reality, it only needs to happen in 2019. The next time we'll be doing it is 2029. This is an example right here of a gingerbread house making kit. There we go. Gotta get that on there. And there you have it, folks. A perfect gingerbread house. That's not a real gingerbread house! So join me as we make a gingerbread house from scratch. I've got an issue with the mainstream format of gingerbread houses, okay? Even this recipe that I've got here from the Food Network, it calls for this really idealistic view of a household, but a lot of the time that's not the case. Many houses are abandoned or they're foreclosed. I'm gonna make a foreclosed and abandoned gingerbread house. So let's go over the ingredients for the gingerbread. 1 stick of butter at room temperature. Always use Kerrygold or you're dead to me. 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar. 1/4 a cup of light molasses. Tablespoon of ground cinnamon. A tablespoon of ground cloves. I have no idea what these are. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, baby. 2 cups all-purpose flour. And then 2 tablespoons of water. In a large mixing bowl, cream the butter, brown sugar, molasses, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and baking soda together until the mixture is smooth. Then we blend in the flour and water to make a stiff dough. Stiff dough. We're gonna make a stiffy. That's boner in British. Let's do it. I need to get a bowl. This should work, or allegedly. Okay, so we've got to cream the butter in. Last time I creamed butter, I apparently did it wrong. I need to turn this butter to liquid. Apparently, you're not supposed to melt the butter in a microwave, which, you know, it kind of makes sense in hindsight. There it is. Oh. Brown sugar. Oh, nice. Why does it look like that? 4 tablespoons of fucking molasses. That looks like oil. Ground ginger. Yum, yum, yum. Those of you who don't know, ginger is actually a root. 1.5 teaspoons ground cloves. Ground? No! Shit! This is not ground cloves, this is whole cloves! Fuck! This is like devil sperm. Can I grind it up, maybe? This is gonna be my mortar, and this is gonna be my pestle, as in the back of this fucking knife. I don't know what I'm doing. This should show the fact that I'm currently grinding up ground cloves with the back of a knife. This is just because I'm too lazy to go to the grocery store. This is the worst. That's barely one. Fuck. Screw it. Alright, we're moving on. 1 teaspoon baking soda. All right, that's in there. We've got to cream it. I don't have a fucking whisk. We're gonna use a fork. 2 cups all-purpose flour. Oh yeah, boing. 2 tablespoons water. 1, 2. And now I gotta mix this until it becomes a dough. Let's see how that goes. I'm just gonna I think that this is a dough. That's gotta be dough. It's time to fuck shit up. This has been chilling for 30 minutes, this dough boy. We gotta roll it out. Oh, I need to cut out pieces of paper for the gingerbread house template. All I have is lined paper. This seems like it actually might not go how any of us planned for it to go. I'm just gonna build it the way I want to. There's all these rules, and I think that it's just a load of shit. Fucking hell. Make sure you preheat the oven to 375 degrees before you make the cookies. I'm gonna sprinkle a bunch of flour on here. I'm gonna cut this out like that. FYI, this is not what it's telling me to do in the directions. Oh. No! It's debatable on whether or not this stuff is going to hold its shape. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do very good architecture here. Oh, this sucks. Oh, this is gonna be really bad. There's the pieces of the ginger house. Looks like it's gonna look pretty good. This is gonna be so fucking awesome. Nothing about what I have going on here could go wrong. This stuff is just about ready to go in the oven, so I guess we're just gonna have to fucking hope for the best. So I'm gonna put this in the oven now. Sweet. As if things could get any worse. I burnt most of it. But it's okay. It's fine. We're chilling, and we're gonna rise above this. Let me show you the little garnishes I have ready to go. These chocolate things. Spice drops. Cotton candy for snow. Peppermint things. I think we're ready to go. Oh, fuck. I don't know why everybody's so worried. Stop being worried. FYI, this video is now in architect mode. That's right, folks. We're building ourselves our perfect gingerbread house. First of all, I need to get the frosting in one of these bags. We gotta assemble the house. I'm gonna try to make this a little bit flatter. With scissors. I'm gonna try to assemble it. No! After all this, I'm starting to understand why people buy the kits. Hey! No, no, no! This icing isn't drying. It's supposed to dry. Come on, please. You don't know what's at stake here. My reputation. Please. It manages to stay up a little bit. And maybe if I just keep adding icing to it, that'll solve any issues I run into. We're just gonna keep going and then hope that by some act of God, this thing stays to... No. Here's the thing though, guys. I never said I was good at making gingerbread houses. And that also stems from the fact that I've never made one before. Oh, no, no! It's really not staying together, so I'm just gonna keep gluing it. Why don't I glue on the inside too? I wonder how long I have to wait for this to dry. I'm gonna leave this alone for like 20 minutes. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna see if it's dried. And if it is, then we'll know that this recipe works. And if it doesn't, then that means that we've made a grave mistake. So we're just gonna take these off.
Okay, it has structure now. So now all we gotta do is put the roof on, I guess.
Just stay on, you ass.
Hey! And now all we gotta do is just put the other part of the roof on, right? Okay! No! Just stay on.
Okay, guys. I mean, that looks pretty good.
Now let's make the roofing. We've got the garnishes now. I'm just adding these little peppermint guys on the top here. The tiling is sliding. It's sliding down the roof. No! Gumdrops! I gotta put the gumdrops on. I got little time, very little time. No, stay together.
I feel kind of crap.
No! Stay, please, just stay on. Oh! No! It was there for a moment, and it was beautiful. Oh, please, no. There it is. It's fixed. No, it's not. Please just stay together. Boom, it's complete. Fuck. I gotta add the last part to it before it falls apart. That's the cotton candy snow. I wanted to put snow on top because it was winter. Quickly. No! No! Fuck! I've got an idea. We put this here, then we put this here. We've got what looks very similar to an abandoned home. That looks pretty good. This, my friends, looks like a gingerbread house. There's no doors, and there's no windows.
This is indicative of the 2008 housing crisis. And you know, at the end of the day, I'd say that this is a win. This is the product of American ingenuity, and you can't take that away from me. You can't. Thanks so much for joining me on this video on how to make a gingerbread house from scratch. I hope you learned something, because I sure did not. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think.
So I found a really funny movie. If you're like me, someone specifically born in 1998, then you spent the extremely formative adolescent period of 10 to 14 years old during the exact period that the Twilight movies were released. There was a very real discussion in middle school on who was Team Edward and who was Team Jacob. I saw firsthand how these movies changed the brain chemistry of my peers. The Twilight Saga was like a water pipe lined with lead, and the whole country was sipping on that garden hose. Because now you've got adult men doing red pill podcasts talking about how they have an alpha wolf mindset. And I think from the success of those movies, and more specifically the success of Taylor Lautner's abs, look at the shine on that washboard, alpha wolf romance is and will continue to be made until the end of time. And one of those movies we're talking about today, Call Me Alpha.
I can't let my wolf take control. Not now.
So we gotta do something about it.
And it is a doozy. Sometimes I find these video topics because you guys either tag me in something or fill out my suggestion form. But the way I found out about this show, I will actually reveal at the end of the video because it's really funny and I think you're gonna like it. Now, I've done plenty of videos on ridiculous low-budget movies, but I've never had a proper look into the category that could most accurately be described as fan fiction shows. Shows that kind of feel like they were written by a 14-year-old who's parasocially obsessed with Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon and has a Wattpad account. You understand what I'm getting at here? And after discovering this movie, I was surprised to see that there is like an obscene amount of these shows. Just from the suggestions on IMDb when looking this movie up, there's plenty of options. The Alpha's Daughter, The Alpha's Rejected Mate, even Fatal Temptation. Between two alphas, clearly. And when I downloaded the app I needed to watch this show, Short TV, I realized that fan fiction shows are the only genre this app has, and they're all filmed vertically for phone screens, and the titles for them increasingly got weirder the longer I looked, such as The Female Janitor Revealed as Hidden Tycoon, or Why is Joe Like That, or Well, I'm actually the most wealthy lady. And of course, who could forget, Mommy, don't refuse Daddy this time, huh? Well, what did he do? Either way, let's dive into the movie we're focusing on today, Call Me Alpha. The movie starts off with a castle in what looks like Europe. Next, we get a shot of an awesome VFX wolf that shows up in a mirror. There's a bottle of blood, I think. And this woman, who I believe is the main character, some dude's kissing her. Wait, before any information about the story happens, it's just immediately a makeout scene. For like almost a full minute. I think this is meant to be a hook for the target audience, you know, those who aren't there for the riveting plot and lore like myself. And this makes sense. If I was paying $50 of real legal tender to watch a fan fiction Alpha Wolf TV show made up of 77 individual minute-long episodes, I'd want to make sure my fiction was getting fanned. You know what I'm saying? So we formally meet our protagonist Ashira for the first time with this enchantress during something called a mapping ceremony. She's a rogue wolf, so she doesn't have a pack, so I think this ceremony is meant to like find her a place to live. She cuts her hand with a knife and smears it all over the map, and she's revealed to be something called a stealer.
A stealer? You're a stealer.
What is a stealer?
A stealer can have a pup with anyone, mates or not.
So we're getting a lot of wolf lore right off the bat. Apparently this is a really bad situation for Ashira. But the Enchantress seems kind of psyched about this the whole time.
Being a stealer, it sounds like a punishment. Who will choose me as a mate if they know that I can mate with others?
And you don't even know the worst part.
And guess what, bitch? It gets worse. Ashira's learning life-ruining information. This is the Enchantress's Super Bowl. So basically, Ashira's goal is to go and find her mate as soon as possible because I guess she's in a bunch of danger from, I guess, rogue, horny wolves who think she's their soulmate. So Ashira goes to the Prime Pack where there's a mating party going on. Crazy name for a party, by the way. You're not making it any more intellectual by just calling it mating. It's like, oh, we're mating. No, you're banging. This is a banging party. This is apparently a perfect time for her to be washing her clothes in a pond. And this is where she meets Aiden, the alpha of the Prime Pack. You can tell he's an alpha because his eyes grow all red and wolfy. Whoa. And also they give him a description when he shows up. Of course, this wouldn't be a wolf show if he didn't immediately take his shirt off and give it to Ashira.
You look cold. Take this.
That's like one of the main tenets of being a wolf guy. Doing hour-long planks every day and being able to easily find excuses to take your shirt off. That's like 95% of being a wolf guy, I think. And then he brings her back to the party because apparently this part of the land is off limits.
No, this part of the land's off limits. Go back to the guest house.
To be honest though, I'd probably say something like that too if I found someone randomly washing their shirt in a pond in my backyard. Please don't do your laundry in my pond. Come back to the party, please. Later on, Nick, who's the beta of the Prime Pack, bummer title to have, dude. That's a bummer title. Gives Ashira's information to Aiden because Aiden believes Ashira is his mate. But when she finds out she's a rogue, which is a wolf without a pack, he gives a very impassioned delivery of surprise.
A wolfless rogue Luna? Gotta be kidding me.
A wolfless rogue Luna? You gotta be kidding me. Next up, we meet one of the female members of the Prime Pack, Mila.
Hi, Ashira. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, look, I'm just here to tell you to keep your hands off my alpha.
Can you tell that she's a mean girl because they play mean girl reality TV music? Now that I think about it, it would be kind of sick if they made a reality TV show around a group of people that think they're a pack of wolves.
Greetings, fellow wolves. My name is Alpha Jared. I've been looking for my Luna, my mate, for most of my wolf life. I haven't found her yet, but I can sense her presence. I'm 32 in human years, but according to an online wolf to human year calculator, I'm considered to be about 172 in wolf years. Some might consider me to be an elder of the wolf community. I would agree with this notion. Am I Hal, you may ask? Let's just say it's immaculate.
So yeah, we've introduced Mila, already creating a little bit of drama around the pack, and Ashira has just gotten here. Later on at the party, we get a really strange interaction between practically every character that we've introduced at this point in one shot. Because you start off with Ashira and her friend Lucy hanging out, then Mila shows up to cause problems, then Nick shows up from the other side. Mila leaves, Nick asks Ashira to dance, and then Lucy leaves. They're dancing for like 2 seconds until Nick learns her name.
What was your name? Ashira.
Then in comes Alpha Aiden out of nowhere, but then Mila is coming back to flirt with Aiden, which fails, so she leaves again, and it ends with just Ashira and Aiden. This whole sequence here happens in less than 30 seconds. And immediately after, talking less than 5 seconds, Ashira's getting pushed up a wall by Aiden. He basically complains that she danced with Nick, and her response is, well, first of all, not really, and also, why didn't you come up and dance with me first? And then his response is like it's like a 5-year-old boy.
But maybe if you had stepped forward, I would have been dancing with you.
It's my fault.
Yeah, dude, you gotta communicate these things. Also, how did we get here so quickly? The longest and only interaction that these two had was him giving her his shirt and then telling her that she couldn't be in his backyard. Maybe him giving the shirt was wolf culture for I wanna bang.
What do I do in my free time? Easy question. Baring my teeth, eating raw meat, and giving my shirts to rogue Lunas that look cold. I'll be honest, a lot of my monthly budget is currently going to my wardrobe to replace my shirt. In my defense, that's the only way I know how to interact with Lunas. Seriously, really frustrating. I keep having to pay for shirts. I haven't heard of a single other way to interact with Lunas in all of wolf history. But if any wolves figure it out, please ping me on my WhatsApp. I'm really freaking lonely.
So basically Ashira's like, why won't you claim me? Little bit of lore, wolf woman, zero rights in this society. And he's like, I'm never gonna claim you. But then in the next scene, he's introducing her to Arya, who's like her assistant now or something, and tells her to make sure that no males go near her.
Don't let any males near her. Take that as a warning.
So what's the deal, Aiden? You got commitment issues, brother? Especially because after Nick comes in the room, Aiden freaks out at him because she danced with Ashira for like 2 seconds.
What's up? Listen, we gotta do something about mess with
I will say it's a little silly for Nick to try to cover his ass here by saying that he didn't know what Ashira looked like. You know, because he was the one who brought Aiden a full dossier about Ashira. You're telling me that he got all that information without figuring out what Ashira looked like? Come on, dude. Either way, the assistant takes Ashira to her new room. They have a short chat, and then Ashira asks,
Where is Aiden?
what are you talking about, Ashira? You just saw him. He's in the other room that you just came from? The room you just came from. So the next day, Nick and Aiden are talking at Nick's house about how Aiden needs to bang someone or he's gonna go crazy. He's got this whole thing going on about how he doesn't want his wolf to take control.
I can't let my wolf take control. Not now.
And Aiden's explanation is this.
I can control it. I'm the alpha. I'm just in heat.
So that's crazy that he's saying that.
I'm just in heat.
Male wolves do not go into heat. That's a biologically female trait. Aiden basically just said that he's ovulating. Maybe he doesn't understand what the word means. He's just been hearing people say it his whole life, and now he's like, that's what I have when I pee funny. It seems like it's affecting him pretty seriously though, because this whole scene, he's practically paralyzed in this position. It doesn't look like he can move. Later on, Ashira is dress shopping with Arya for her first night with Aiden when she suddenly goes into full heat mode and falls into the arms of this dude Zeke. So she's rushed home and Aiden carries her upstairs and she's pretty much losing it at this point. But Aiden is like, still not gonna claim you. And also, you can't leave anymore. You're gonna stay in this house and you can't go anywhere.
It happened because you haven't claimed me. Why can't you just make it stop?
From now on, you're not allowed to leave this house.
I would rather be a rogue than trapped in here with you.
What's this dude's fucking deal? What's his trauma? Well, we actually find out. Both of his parents died in a war. But I'll be honest, I'm assuming that the usage of the word war here is implying a bunch of plainclothes people pretending to be wolves scratching each other in a public park. I don't think this was like Vietnam, although Wolf Vietnam would have been crazy. Either way, Aiden's got trauma, he's got trust issues, and he's about as emotionally stable as you'd expect from a guy that pretends to be a wolf and calls himself Alpha, aka he's not. But they talk about his trauma, and now Aiden actually decides to claim Ashira by like biting her on the neck. Obviously that's how it's done. That's what I learned in school. Until they're interrupted by an emergency.
What's wrong?
How did he know specifically what emergency was going on? Is he like a Bene Gesserit wolf? Is he Lisan Alpha Gaib? Apparently Zeke from the store and a bunch of rogue wolves had just attacked the Prime Pack. They killed like 6 people, but all of this happened off screen. Also, for future reference, they don't show a single fight on screen. They only show the aftermath. So the most substance of the action we get is a bunch of wolf dudes threatening each other and changing their eye color, which honestly is kind of fantastic. The only reason Zeke killed all of those people is seemingly because he wanted to talk to Ashira because I think he wanted to mate with her, only to find out that Aiden had just claimed her. And he has like probably the worst possible reaction to this information.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. It smells recent. It smells familiar.
Ew, what the heck? Ew, why would he say that?
Impressive, Alpha Aiden. You smell like cum.
Either way, this creates a whole drama surrounding the rogue wolves and Zeke that will be expanded upon later. But before we continue on with this riveting tale of wolves and drama, this video is sponsored by SoFi. SoFi is the ultimate finance app and a new kind of bank that doesn't believe in account fees. It's fully mobile, tracks your spending, and you can manage your money right in the app. You might still be using the bank that your parents set you up with in like high school or something, but let's be honest here, folks, you can do so much better. If you're a student, you can sign up for a SoFi checking and savings account with a .edu email address, fund it with $10 or more, and SoFi will give you a $30 cash bonus. Setting up direct deposit, for example, if you get a regular paycheck, also unlocks some great benefits. You can get paid up to 2 days early and earn up to $300. And another great feature of SoFi is their Vault feature, where you can save and track your progress towards different goals. For instance, I don't know, going to a road trip to every Bubba Gump in the United States and Canada, which we are not doing, by the way. Everyone keeps asking us that we're not going to do that. Eddie and I don't want to eat that much shrimp. You could do it. You can do that if you want, and you could save up for it with SoFi. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get up to a $30 cash bonus when you sign up with a .edu email and fund your SoFi account with $10 or more. Thank you to SoFi for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it, baby. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah. Next up, the Gamma of the pack, Seth, returns home for the first time, and he's instated as basically Ashira's bodyguard. So later on, Ashira and Seth head over to this guy Titus's house. He's the head guard of the Prime Pack, and he's getting blamed for letting the 6 members die in the attack because he was, and I quote, too distracted to fight back.
His negligence. He was too distracted to fight back.
They don't explain what he was, like, what was he distracted by? Was he just on his phone? We also learned that Titus's wife died in the attack too, which is a problem for Ashira because she knows that he'll be attracted to her because she's a stealer. And she is absolutely right because Titus immediately tries to kiss her.
This is incredible.
Dude, give yourself some time to grief, man. That's like hitting on someone at a funeral, but a funeral for your wife. This is like the day after his wife died. And then Titus gets like mad and totally flips the script and starts blackmailing Ashira because now he knows she's a stealer and tries to get her to go to Aiden so that he can get his job back. So Ashira tries to convince Aiden to forgive Titus, but Aiden is super stubborn, but also keeps asking if she's asking what she's asking, like over and over again.
I think you should give Titus another chance.
Another chance?
Yeah.
Think I should give him another chance?
Yeah, that's why she brought it up.
What, you think I should give him a second chance?
Yes. And then he just says no.
You thought wrong. Because I'm the alpha. I make the rules around here.
I'm the alpha, I'm the leader. And the next day he apologizes to Ashira for going all alpha on her, but also says that she should never question him again.
Ashira, I'm sorry. Don't question my decision next time.
Very soon after, Aiden finds out that Ashira is a stealer and confronts her about it. And then Aiden and Nick beat up Seth for hiding this information from Aiden. While Ashira secretly watches. For someone who has alpha powers and the sense of a wolf, Aiden is incredibly unaware of Ashira's presence. Wouldn't he be able to at least smell her if he wasn't directly sitting in her line of sight? He's getting those old dog cataracts. So Aiden's really pissed about Ashira's lie of omission, but they end up banging anyways. They still bang.
You hungry?
How could I be hungry when I just ate you?
Ooh, banned, jail, right to jail.
Right to jail, right away.
Am I allowed to take the writers to criminal court for this? So another thing I start beginning to think about at this point in the movie is like, what do these people do for work? Obviously at one point Ashira is at a clothing store, so there's some level of economy going on, but nobody's going into detail of what their work entails. Even later on in the movie, Nick says this to Ashira.
You see, your alpha here has been delegating his work to me ever since he met you.
And Aiden also says,
you know, Nick was always good with the paperwork.
The paperwork? What are you talking about? What paperwork? Are they keeping records? For what purpose? Why are they doing that? Is there a larger governmental body that audits the packs? Is there a wolf IRS? What a strange piece of lore to drop in here. Anyways, at this point, for some reason, we've got Alpha Jacob from the Shadow Pack visiting the Prime Pack, and he's brought his Luna, who also happens to be Ashira's friend Lucy. Lucy immediately reveals to Ashira that this dude's been cheating on her all the time. And then she drops some kind of unnecessary and strange lore on what happens to female mates when the male wolf cheats on them.
Like cramps in my belly, and all of a sudden these bruises started showing up on my chest and stomach. You probably don't know this, but if your mate begins having sex with others, those awful things will happen to your body.
Just seems like it sucks more than anything to be a female wolf in this world. You go catatonic when you're horny, men have to claim you in order to get anything done. And Ashira, even though she's the protagonist, doesn't really make a single choice for herself. Pretty much all of the events of this story kind of happen to her, with whether she likes it or not. It's kind of just like a bucket floating down a river. Lucy then enlists the help of Ashira to help her go escape to the north. So they go do that. But then during that ordeal, she runs back into Zeke. And while she's missing, Aiden and Nick are running around Twilight style all over the forest. And it turns out that Zeke needs Aiden to give his mother some of his blood in order to save her life. That's the entire reason Zeke came to the Prime Pack in the first place, I think. Gotta say, doesn't totally explain why they had to kill 6 people to get that point across. I guess they just got carried away. Aiden agrees to this. And we cut to a scene with Zeke's mom, who is for some reason wearing like fucking 9-inch heels while she's essentially on her deathbed.
Oh,
How are you feeling today?
not good.
So Aiden cuts his hand open and she just kind of nuzzles up to his hand and instantly recovers.
Thank you, Alpha Aiden. I feel fully recovered already.
Okay, so next up, we're introduced to the leader of the Ravenous Pack, Elon. They're supposed to be signing a treaty, but they also just attacked the Prime Pack, like maybe 4 minutes before this scene.
The Ravenous Pack has attacked. They're declaring war.
What?
But Elon is like, I didn't tell those shitheads to do that. And Aiden's like, well, you represent them, so it's kind of still your fault. And Elon's like, okay, still sign that treaty though, right? And Aiden's like, fine, but I'm pissed. Then Ashira and Aiden bang again, and then reflect on that bang in completely different clothing. And we actually see their wolves for the first time in like an hour, where they're just marveling at the beauty of their wolves in the pond.
Oh my god, your wolf is so beautiful. So colorful. That's really amazing.
If they reveal at the end that this is just a community of people acting out a long-term LARP scenario, I would believe it almost immediately. Then all of a sudden, Ashira gets kidnapped by Elon out of nowhere. He's got Ashira in a fucking dungeon like an asshole.
You're mine now, kitten.
I can do anything. And you can't do anything but cry.
Was this script written by an 8-year-old? I'm a super duper freaking cool alpha wolf, and all you can do is cry and wee-wee in your diaper, which is actually a thing that babies do. And also something I do not do, because I'm the alpha. Also, the stakes are super high because Ashira's pregnant now. And also, Elon gets a potion from his mom that lets him steal a stealer, because he's trying to steal Ashira for some fucking reason. So he gives her this curse that brainwashes her and causes her to lose her memories. The next episode, which is 10 seconds later, we're cutting to Aiden saving Ashira. Apparently, he killed Elon, the largest antagonist of this story, off screen, which is so wild because they spend like a half an hour hyping up how conniving and evil this Elon guy was. And he's kidnapped Ashira and he's poisoning her and then he's gone, never to show up again. So now Ashira thinks that Elon is the father of her child and she doesn't recognize Aiden. So Aiden, the cool-headed leader that he is and being fully aware of Ashira's condition, decides to reason with her.
How dare you come into my room?
It's my pack. I make the rules around here.
You are heartless.
You're the heartless one. You know nothing. I killed that guy with a pistol. Don't you ever forget that.
Stop being brainwashed. Don't you know you're not supposed to do that? I didn't tell you could do that. I'm the alpha. Lucy has to come in and be like, dude, you're escalating things right now. And also, forgot to mention this one. When did Ashira get to a 3rd trimester pregnancy? Is she gonna give birth to the Antichrist? Is that what's going on here? Eventually things cool down a bit and Ashira and Aiden are in the backyard. And out of nowhere, in comes the Alpha King.
Alpha Aiden, the Prime Pack. This is your king. No need to worry. I came to help.
He's the king of all of the packs, and he just kind of shows up unprompted. Looking for me? The king of all the packs? Did somebody say Alpha King? This is like the king of England popping into someone's backyard. Where the fuck did he come from? He's also kind of like a genie because he says he can remove Ashira's curse, but their baby is not going to have like wolf powers. But Aiden ultimately decides to follow through with the ceremony.
Alpha King. Is this
Damn, dude. Alpha King does not give a single shit. But now everything is good. Ashira is cured, and now they have to decide on a name for their baby. Of course, as the Alpha, Aiden gets to decide on this name.
I should name him Quillian.
Quillian? Quillian. Where the fuck did that come from? As far as I know, this is just a random name. I think he just likes the way it sounds, or he just made it up on the spot. That sounds like a name that you would make up on the spot. But she gives birth to Quillian, everything is all in good, and there's a party at the end where Beta Nick is dancing like this.
Yeah, he really went all out for this.
Yeah, and how's your hunt going?
And I'm about 95% sure that this is one of the final takes of the film shoot, because that is the behavior of an actor that has totally checked out of their character. Either way, that was Call Me Alpha. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of this video that there was a very specific way that I found this movie. So finally, I get to reveal to you how I did. Ashira, would you come in here? This is my friend Mia, who also happens to be the actress that plays Ashira in Call Me Alpha.
Hello, people of the world.
So this is how I found out about this film, because she was working on this film and the whole time she was saying, you gotta make a video on this. How did you find out about this role for Call Me Alpha in the first place?
Actually, I got asked, I think like 4 days before the production, I got an email that was like, hey, take a little read over the script and let us know what you think. It starts shooting in 4 days. And I was like, I gotta make rent for these. And I've done a few of these short series, but for this one specifically, it was 10 days straight.
Oh my
12
God.
hours a day. About anywhere
Just
between...
wolfing it up.
Yeah, when I got the pitch, it was like photos of Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, so this is like exactly what I thought, exactly what they were trying to go for.
Oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
It seemed like they were trying to go for like Bella and Edward kind of relationship.
Yeah,
with,
yeah, it's like if you took Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey and then Fanfiction.
And then told it to a person and then hit them with a bus. And then they were like, write what you remember of that story. What was the script like when you first got it for this movie?
Uncompleted.
What does that mean?
To no fault of the production, because we were all employees. Like the producers and the crew were like amazing. The script when we got it was not the final script, nor was it really in English.
Oh.
I mean, no, it was in English, but it wasn't. Let's just say that there was a lot of improv work. There were several moments that I do remember where we all kind of just looked at each other and were like, yeah, we're gonna change that. Yeah.
Was this the first type of vertically shot
Yeah.
project you had done before?
This was my first one.
Really?
It led to many more.
Because there's this one portion at the beginning
beginning of the movie. Beginning at the mating party, which is, by the way, I think a crazy name.
It's a sex party intrinsically.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, it's just a fancy way of calling it a sex party. But there's like this one shot where it's like you're with Lucy, and then Mila comes in, and then Nick comes in from the left, and then Mila leaves, and then
I think that was the last shot of the entire production. Like, that was Martini. Safe to say that most of this production, we were one-take wonders, because we were also shooting anywhere between like 15 to 38 pages a day. I think that was like the max.
So that sounds insane. Was it stressful?
Yeah. But
was there any explanation in the script or anything you were told? Ashira and Aiden banging to all of a sudden you are in a third trimester pregnancy. Like you bang at one point, and then like maybe I think no more than 2 days happens, and then you're fully pregnant.
well, time has passed, Ted.
It took them 9 months to figure out where you were.
Well, oh, that's a good point.
You did a good job for what you were given, I think, you know?
Thank you. I do appreciate
one of my favorite moments. You're paired up with the Aria girl, and she takes you to your room, and then immediately after that, you're like, where's Aiden? You were just with him.
We talked about that the day we were filming it. We were like didn't we just film a scene where we were just
And what was the response? Well,
listen, well,
was that in the script that you were washing your shirt?
Yeah. I was supposed to swim in this pond, and I was not. I did not swim in this pond because there are catfish in this pond. In fact, actually, that's lore. Every time I would put the shirt down, catfish would think it's food, and
You hate fish. That is a fun piece of lore about you. Hate fish.
It was a catfish farm.
Oh, this is a catfish farm?
Yes.
Was there any deleted scenes from this? Really? Why were they deleted? What were the scenes about?
There was one sex scene that was, dare I say, a little rapey.
Oh, good that they got rid of that.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. There was another scene where I think we turned into the wolves.
They were supposed to be VFX, you turned into wolves? Oh, that would have been the best. What's the deal with the name Quillian?
So we have a theory, and we talked about this intensely, but we think that they meant to write William, and then it just kind of got fucked up, and then
because it's right next to Q on the fucking keyboard.
And then we had already filmed the scene saying Quillian.
That's a name I have never, ever heard before.
That's what we saw that name, we were like, so his name is Quillian now.
That is so funny. Well, thank you for offering some insight onto this. And my good friend Mia, Ashira in Call Me Alpha.
Please hire me.
Let's do it again. Done a million takes of this, but my strength is unlike anything anyone's ever known.
Oh, what the heck is that? That looks pretty good. Everybody likes the movies. It's been around for over 100 years. Oh, what are we doing for a date night tonight, honey?
Well, Cassandra, we're going to the movies.
Sometimes when it comes to movies, there's some really memorable ones. One of these, for instance, would be Pixar's Cars. It's a freaking awesome movie. It's cars and they're alive. But that's a pretty good idea. I could make that idea. But I could use bikes instead. Well, that's the case with Manuel J. Garcia's 2018 Bikes. It's the same thing, but also not at all. Listen, I go to school for film, so I know a thing or two about how this shit works. Crack me open a LaCroix and I'll tell you all the finer details of what film aesthetics is being violated with this film. Movies don't need to make sense. They can still get produced. They don't need to have a storyline or characters that fall within logic. And I kind of like a bad boy movie, if I'm being honest. And a bad boy movie would be 2018's Bikes by Manuel J. Garcia. It just kind of came up. It just, I was just browsing the web. Just hanging out in the locker room of the internet. If I had seen this movie when I was a kid, it probably would have single-handedly inspired me to try to become a filmmaker. Just kidding, that was a lie. This movie is a train wreck. Or should I say bike wreck? Guys, that was a bike meme. There's gonna be a lot of those, please try to keep up. We're gonna go through all the things that make this movie the craziest acid trip you'll ever have. Implying that I've had one. At a superficial level, I suppose that you could say that this movie is like a ripoff of Cars, but then it takes the entire
concept of these living modes of transportation and just goes in a fucking whole different direction. Other than the fact that the movie is named after the mode of transportation that they are, and then the main character is kind of an ass and he likes to race, it's like just a fever dream. Let's read the official synopsis of this film. Spokesville is the bike's land. You know how you name towns with Ville? Why don't we name Spoke? That's on a bike. Let's call it Spokesville. Speedy, the main character, is a mountain bike ready to be the leader when the gasoline engine comes to disturb the city. Oh fuck. Speedy and his friends, Pinion, Gassy, and Montana, will fight against the annoying artifact to keep Spokesville clean. And it pretty much tells you absolutely nothing about what this film is about. Not what it's really about, which is the rise of this main character named Speedy, who likes to race, becomes the hero of town, and at his core is kind of an asshole. This movie is so convoluted and strange that I'm gonna do my best to make this make sense. But if it doesn't, don't blame me. That's just business, baby. So why don't we just check out the opening sequence of this film? The movie opens up on a wonderful intro sequence. It shows amazing sweeping shots of the town of Spokesville. You see all the beautiful places they live in then. Wait, what the fuck is that? Are those apartment buildings? Are those petals? Those are apartment buildings made out of petals. So you're telling me that the buildings in this town are designed after their body parts? That's like making a building that looks like a foot. I suppose you could argue, oh, Ted, how else are you going to know that they're in the bikes world? Cars doesn't do this. They just make a bunch of buildings that are accessible to cars. Some of these buildings are topped with, like, bike chains. Wouldn't the chains of a bike be, like, the intestines or something? That's pretty strange. That's pretty weird. We meet the main character, Speedy, whose character model is honestly terrifying. I have no idea why they decided to design the main character, the person we see the most, this way. All of the other bikes make sense, I guess. I mean, some of them have, like, lips, but not Speedy. Oh no. He's just a piece of plastic with dentures. So Speedy's a mail bike, so we start off with him going on his mail run, taking over from his old and withered, dumb grandpa.
Take care of Gramps, okay, Spruik?
Don't worry about us so much. Worry about being on time.
He's totally reckless. He's causing traffic issues around town. He's basically a total nuisance. He's an ass. Speedy basically blows through an intersection and causes a 4-bike collision right in front of a police officer. This is less than 5 minutes into the film. If this doesn't tell you enough about who this character is as a person, I don't know what will. He has no sense of guilt. I wouldn't be surprised if Speedy's killed another bike. I would not be surprised. Speedy thinks he can do whatever he wants because he's fast. Hey Speedy, newsflash. Being fast isn't a personality, you fool. My next issue is how strangely they introduce the characters in this film. There's these 2 evil bank bike characters. How do you know they're evil, Ted? Oh, I don't know.
Soon it will be ours.
That's his first line. They introduce Montana, who is very clearly the love interest in this film. How can you tell, Ted?
Speedy. Hi, Montana.
I was just thinking about you, Speedy.
Based on the fact that she has the most luscious lips of any bike in this film. And also, she's pink. And I don't know if you guys know this, but pink, that's the girl color. Then the mayor shows up, and the strangest interaction I've ever seen happens.
Hi, Montana. My wheels are burning.
Mr. Mayor.
Mayor? And your dad, too.
Not during working hours.
Wait. He shows up, she calls him Mr. Mayor, and then he says, and your dad, too. And then she says, not during working hours. What is that even supposed to mean? Are you telling me that Montana insists that when her father is working, that she only calls him Mr. Mayor? She is literally forcing herself to distinguish between her father not working and her father when he's working. Later on, she messes this up too, as if it matters to anyone.
That's what I wanted to tell you, Speedy. Dad, I mean, the mayor is...
If the mayor is correcting her to say he's her dad, then where is this pressure to call him the mayor even coming from? One of my next issues is how Speedy delivers the mail. Let me just put this simply and try not to scare you guys. But basically, he's got a fucking hand. Yes, the movie about bikes, living as bikes, one of them has a hand. They could not easily figure out the part where he delivers the mail. So when he goes around and he has to drop off a package, boom! A fucking hand comes out of the bag. This is probably one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. And it also raises some huge issues. If this bike has a hand, wouldn't that create some serious issues on how opposable thumbs would affect society? Are we not going to address opposable thumbs? This would seriously create some inequality. Like, for real. Like when a bike can swing an axe at another, there would be war. For some reason, Speedy has a mentor. I don't really know why. I think he's supposed to be the Mr. Miyagi of the film. Oh, and also, he has two hands. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, Chan!
Shh! Quiet, son. It's Numachi time. My package just arrived?
No.
What brings you here then, Speedy?
I need your advice, Chan.
No packages, no advice.
But Chan!
I joke, son.
It's just a bike with arms. This means that there are two bikes in this society that have hands. Everyone else doesn't, and it's not addressed, and nobody talks about it. Basically what happens is they welcome back an old hero to the town named Rock Bikerson.
Wow, Rock is going to love this.
Rock? Rock Bikerson in Spooksville?
That's what I wanted to tell you, Speedy. The mayor is going to give Rock the key to the city tomorrow.
If someone deserves the key, it's him.
I don't really know why he's a hero other than the fact that, like, he's just a fast bike. Who you know from the get-go is the antagonist of the film based on the fact that they gave him a face with evil man facial hair. He's got like a human face.
It is I, Rock, your local hero.
Oh. He's literally just the Chad of bikes. Hey Manuel, how are we gonna get across that this bike is like the evil? Why don't we give him a face? His name is fucking Rock. They named him Rock. Essentially what happens next is this Rock Bikerson character, in cohorts with the evil bank bikes, introduce the gas motor to society.
Powered by the magic fluid coming from the center of the earth, I present to you the tool that will allow you to be almost as fast as me. The gas motor!
And then when the town members are kind of suspicious about it, Speedy's just like, it's fine. He's Rock, the totally not evil character.
Bikes, this is Rock, our local hero, a triumphant bike-sit-in. I'm sure Rock has all the answers.
Speedy's like, come on, give him a break. Give him a break. He's Rock Bikerson. Come on. Bing bong, the whole town's got gas motors now, and it's creating environmental disaster. That's cool. You can tell because it's making the bikes cough. Yes, the bikes cough, meaning that they have a system of breathing. Let me break this down Barney style for you. They are bikes, and they run on mechanical parts, but they also need to breathe, meaning that they have lungs in their bike bodies. Let me save you some time, I'll give you a rundown on what happens, basically. Speedy and his friends figure out that it's Rock, and he's causing environmental disaster. Who would have thought that Rock, who by the way has hired secret police to literally send people who can't pay for gas to jail.
You are not up to date with your payments, dear bike citizen. Therefore, you cannot fill up on gas.
I do not have that kind of money.
You can always pay the company by working in the gas tank cleaning department.
Oh no.
Or there's always another possibility. Prison bikes.
Bike shed?
Then send Speedy and his friends to jail. And then this is when shit gets even stranger. And it's also when Speedy ends up being kind of an asshole. So basically they're all in jail and everyone's down in the dumps. And then Speedy says like the rudest thing I've ever heard.
Speedy, I never thought you would give up.
I'm sorry, give me a second.
Like, what was that tone?
I'm sorry, give me a second.
That did not come off as if you were saying, I'm sorry, give me a second. That came off as you saying, hey Montana, can you shut the fuck up? She's just trying to make conversation and you're just being an ass. So you're probably asking yourself, Ted,
How are they going to get out of bike jail? How are these bikes going to escape from bike jail? Oh yeah, you remember that old stereotypical Chinese Mr. Miyagi bike? Yeah, the one with hands? Yeah, well, he's also got explosives and munitions.
Yes, perfect.
He also has a laptop. In a society when the gas motor was literally just introduced. And then he shoots the rocket and it's a Black Ops team of the bike pumps. Oh, so they sent in a team to get him out of jail. That's smart. They must just steal a key from the guards, right? That would be too easy. They take the inner tires of all of the bikes and then steal the entire jail cell by breaking a balloon through concrete and flying away. And then later on, Speedy says that it was a perfect plan.
It was a perfect plan.
What about that was perfect in the slightest? You just absolutely destroyed public property in the process of that plan. You could have just snuck out. Oh, by the way, we also find out that the Mentor bike invented the gas motor and didn't tell anyone about it up until now. They basically put all of these very specific legal reasons against Rock for why he should go to jail.
What is the jail time for fraud?
Adding the tampering and illegal usage of the pipelines and aqueducts of Spokesville.
And the production and use of false advertising.
And then for some reason the mayor decides to just settle it with a race between the two of them.
I hereby authorize the city race.
In the race between Rock and Speedy, Speedy gets a flat tire because of a bunch of spikes in the road. But then the bike pump guys come, and they pump his wheels back up, completely negating the fact that he has holes in his tire, and he's fine. And the film goes on, and he wins the race. Speedy beats Rock in the race, he tries to cheat the whole time, and he cries like a baby idiot dumbass. And then everything is totally fine at the end, I guess. The final line between Montana and Speedy just leads me to believe that these two are just going to get married, and then they're going to have so many issues because they have nothing in common, and they're going to get divorced in a year.
How does it feel being Spokesville's #1?
It's not about being #1, Montana.
Oh, my Speedy.
What kind of fucking interaction was that? She comes up, she tries to congratulate you, and then you're just like, it's not about being #1, Montana. Dude, fuck you. What a dick. Is that not the #1 rudest thing you could respond with? Overall, though, I think we can enjoy this piece of cinema for what it is. A beautiful piece of work that really just tells a touching tale about, you know, don't make the gas motor. Just stick to laptops and munitions. So yeah, that was Bikes. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to look at other weird movies in the future. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Christian movies. You're probably familiar with a certain form of media that is attempting to make it as easy as possible to teach young adults and children about the religion. In the most entertaining way possible, but not too entertaining because then you're sinning. No kickflips, no trespassing, no throwing jello at houses, nothing cool. I haven't ever really dove into a piece of religious media on my channel before, but in my terrible movie suggestions form that you can find in the description, somebody suggested the movie Joshua and the Promised Land. By the poster, you can already tell that we're dealing with something special here. I had seen that other creators have made videos on this, such as Critical and this other creator, Saberspark, years ago, but I specifically avoided watching those because I wanted the raw experience of seeing this movie myself without any context whatsoever. We're bringing it into the modern age. This movie's got magic, okay? It's got demons. It's got war. So join me as we take a look at the animated Christian movie, From Hell. So we start off with the narrator of this film.
The Bible tells the story of a young man named Joshua.
The nature of this creature, I am unsure of. It appears to be a pink pig rat nymph fairy that wears a bow tie. And this far into the film, that's literally all you know. I will say that if you showed this movie to a child under 5 years old, they would already be crying by this point. Because humans fear the unknown, and I have no idea what that is. He talks about how in the Bible there was a man named Joshua who was incredibly brave and was strong. And the Joshua that we're talking about is none of those things. So then the Joshua in question is revealed, and holy shit, that is an anthropomorphic lion child. Oh my god. Okay, I'm game. Anthropomorphic animals. Zootopia.
That's a movie. Our main character, Joshua, is incredibly good at motor skills. He's adept at running around. The quality of the animation in this film is just, We're introduced to Joshua's father, who immediately gives us the vibe of what kind of father he is.
Hi, Dad.
Pick up your stuff, Joshua.
Holy shit. That is a lion father that is about 3 bad arguments away from being an absent one. This is when I began to realize that this film is entirely played by anthropomorphic animals. The main character, of course, being a lion, which honestly would make sense given that the name of the guy who made this film is Jim Lion.
I thought you said you were cleaning out the den today.
Well, honey, I'm sorry. I have got other things I've got to do.
I enjoy how they're anthropomorphic lions, but then the only thing that changes about the fact that they're anthropomorphic lions is that they refer to their house as a den. But then in the next sentence, the mom lion is like...
Right, like tinkering around with that car again.
Hey, come on. This is my day off. This is what I'm gonna do.
So they call their house a den, but then also, yeah, he's got a car. So the parents are arguing about the dad's car, but then the dad doesn't like that. He is baring his teeth at his wife. That's kind of fucked up. I can only assume in lion culture that that's a pretty threatening thing to do. So clearly what we have here is an abusive lion father that loves his car too much and ignores his son. Boom. Good dad.
Ugh. Honestly, Joshua, will you please get out of the way? I'm trying to fix dinner.
There is not a single supportive soul in this family for this child. He is literally just hanging out and his parents just hate his guts. So Joshua's obviously sad. He's going back up to his room to like cry or something because his parents hate his gut. It's probably because he's got a skateboard left in the hallway, because I clearly heard your dad say, Joshua, to pick up your stuff, which is why there's no God in his household. There's no Jesus around here. And he goes and he lays on his bed and he's sad. You know the drill.
As you can see, Joshua feels kind of lost in the shuffle.
Okay, so the fairy nymph is back and he straight up is just not explaining what in God's name he is, because he's clearly not a lion. He's pink and he has a bow tie. Why does he have a bow tie? I don't understand what this adds. It's massive on him too.
And he doesn't know where to turn. That's why I think we should give him a little help.
He doesn't seem to know what the hell's going on. So then all of a sudden, this static ghost shows up. I don't know how else to explain what this is. It's like it's a ghost made of static. And this ghost starts looking through all of Joshua's toys, and you'd think to yourself, oh, maybe he's going to possess one of those toys and then start talking to Joshua through that, right? Wrong. He then turns around and then just goes up to Joshua, and then in the most gentle voice I have ever seen.
Hi.
Hi. So I guess before deciding to wake up Joshua, he was just looking through his collection of toys. Oh, dude, nice. You got Funko Pops? Oh, shit, man. You got U2s? He can't wake Joshua up, so he then winds up and throws a ball of energy at Joshua straight in his face. That is not the strategy that I would have chosen. Maybe tapping him on the shoulder. I'm already getting weird vibes from this ghost. I'm sorry. That's just how it is.
Who are you?
Some people call me the best friend.
That is not the first thing that you should be saying to a child after you've broken into his home and woken him up with a ball of energy. He's got some leeway because he's a spiritual being, but not that much. Not in my book.
My real name is Christopher Andrew Eugene Bazioni, at your service. But it's okay if you don't like it. Just call me Chris.
Okay. So this is a ghost named Chris.
Listen, Joshua, I came here to take you on a little kind of trip, you know?
Not the first thing I would be saying.
Where do you want to take me?
I can't tell you that till we get there.
We are less than 5 minutes into the film, and this has all of the signs of a run-of-the-mill abduction right now. I think the usage of the phrase little trip is probably the most problematic for me. 90% of the time, when a character in a movie says, we're gonna go on a little trip, it has proven to never be a good thing.
Come on. You trust me, don't you?
I guess.
Why? Why would you immediately trust this floating ghost? And why does the ghost have to use the phrase, come on? You trust me, don't you? He's peer pressuring this child into going on a little trip with him, and then he won't tell him where. So Joshua, utilizing his terrible decision-making skills, decides to go to an unknown location with a floating ghost. He has to hold Chris's hand in order to travel with him. And there's this moment in the animation where the fairy absolutely dislocates Joshua's arm as he's floating up into the air, and they don't even hide it. They add like a punching sound effect to it. From there, they just rocket out of the house, and then they do a jump into hyperspace. The first thing that Chris shows Joshua is the biblical story about how God had freed the enslaved Jewish people, and they were escaping from Egypt, but the Pharaoh didn't like that. Oh no, he didn't. So we see the Pharaoh in question, who definitely has the walk of a Pharaoh, and he's got the voice of one too.
Get me my chariot!
Also, a side note, I find it fascinating that it's been established that all of the characters in this film are bipedal versions of animals, but then Jim Lyon includes ancient Egyptian depictions of humans on this building. Like, those are humans. Does that mean humans are canon? That increases the confusion of this entire story, like tenfold. I'd like to appreciate how smooth this man's chariot is. That is riding in luxury.
You know, some people just never learn. God can hit them right over the head with a big, thick hammer, and they still don't get it.
What doesn't he get?
When you fight against God, you always lose. Just like that Pharaoh there is about to find out.
Not slavery is wrong. The only reason why we have a problem with slavery in this context is because God wasn't a fan of it. So the army of the Pharaoh departs to catch the Jewish people, and we'll see this several times over the film, but some of the chariots have a completely different perspective. Like, where is he going? He's on a completely different mission. Thus far, I've been a big fan of when Joshua and Chris the Ghoul are traveling from place to place, especially in this clip that I'm about to show you, because whenever they are traveling around, it's less like it's this magical ride with a Christian ghost, and more like he's just pulling Joshua at the speed of a fighter jet. So there's this big fire that was created by God that prevents the Pharaoh's army from advancing and catching the Jewish people. And Joshua wants to check out the fire, but Chris doesn't let him, and he says,
Sometimes a no means maybe, I'll grant you that. But when it comes from God, a no means no.
Sometimes a no means maybe? This ghost is a registered sex offender. Everything he said, besides a lesson about God, has been sus at the very least. So now the prophet Moses is introduced, and you can tell that he's Moses because he's got a staff, and he's also got a beard. The only character with a beard in the whole film.
According to the Bible, Moses is the guy God picked to do all his miracles and lead the slaves to freedom. He's one of the good guys.
Oh, is he? I think that Jim Lyon placed this statement in because of some of the things that Moses does later in this film, and also some of the things that Moses did in the Bible that aren't even included in this movie. We'll talk about that later. Chris basically has Joshua possess an adult lion that was there at the time because I guess Joshua's interested in this biblical story now.
I'll meet you on the other side.
Why, Don? What happens?
Throws him into the body of a random lion, and then he fucking pieces out. What we'll find out later is that Joshua had been placed in the body of the biblical figure of the same name, Joshua. Here's something I haven't had the chance to point out that I think that you guys would find a little concerning. For some reason, the horses are green. Why did he make the horses green? There's camels later, and they look like normal camels, but then there's green horses. Why is there green horses? So the Pharaoh reaches the firewall, and he is not happy about the firewall. Generally, firewalls, negative thing. And you know how I can tell? Because of this face he makes. We all know what happens next. Moses parts the Red Sea and all of the Jewish people walk to the other side and they're safe and sound. And then the Pharaoh tries to go through and they get absolutely dunked on by the ocean and God. Not only were they killed by the force of the water pressure falling upon them, they were eaten alive by sharks. Everyone is cheering that they're safe now, and Joshua is just this stone-faced badass for some reason. I don't know if he's collecting trauma from seeing hundreds of people drown underwater. Right. All of the Jews got out of that land so fast that they didn't bring any food with them. So I guess God sends a huge flock of quails into the desert. And Moses asks Joshua directly if he can get him a quail to eat.
I'm hungry.
Would you mind fetching a quail so we can eat?
And we get this ridiculous animation sequence where Joshua is just chasing around the quails and doing a terrible job of doing it. The way that these characters are animated, it's almost like they were just born and they are very recently learning motor skills.
These guys just love to complain. Sure, they had enough food, but they didn't have enough water.
Well, yeah. They're starving and thirsty in a desert and living off of quails.
So they told Moses to solve the problem, or they all go back to Egypt to become slaves again.
To who? You literally just watched with your own eyes as the Pharaoh was swallowed by the Red Sea. I'm sorry, man, but there's no going back now. But Moses, being the homie that he is, manages to get them some water. Uh-oh, bad news is on the horizon, though, because the Amalekites are preparing to attack. Don't believe me? Listen to Moses.
As we speak, the Amalekite army prepares an attack.
That's the exact same thing I said. This time around, though, they're not going to run away. They're going to fight the Amalekites. And Moses thinks it's a wonderful idea to recruit Joshua to lead the entire army.
I will assemble the soldiers. I want you, Joshua, to lead them into battle.
Me? What are you basing this upon, Moses? Exactly. He caught you a quail. That's the only thing that he's done in this story for you. It's like nobody's ever done Moses a favor before in his entire life. So Moses' army begins to prepare for battle. We get this wonderful perspective issue as they're running to their spot. And also, can we touch on this again? What kind of animal is this? Is it a bear? Doesn't look like a bear. Kind of looks like a methed out version of Arthur from PBS. I just find it funny that this child who was just complaining about having to walk several miles to cross the Red Sea.
I'm tired.
Now you know why I didn't take that long walk with you.
It was miles and miles.
Is now leading an army. And he really just does not seem to have too much of a problem with it at this point. After a little bit of hyping up the soldiers.
Let's beat these guys!
Joshua leads this entire army into war. This war is awesome because if this was the only thing that my Christian parents showed to me when I was a kid, then it's honestly pretty damn brutal. It doesn't have any blood, but it doesn't really need to. I don't know what it is about the tiger characters in this war, but they are pulling some serious weight. There's this one shot of a dude that slices a man off of his chariot. One of the tigers does this badass spin move and knocks another guy off of his chariot. Then this other tiger guy is like, yo, Josh, want to try something wild and wacky? And Joshua smiles like he's saying, fuck yeah, baby. And then they hop on this chariot's horses, steal the horses, and then just beeline it into the middle of the battle like they're actually insane. I haven't really seen the chariots be successful thus far. I don't know what their tactical usage is in the nature of this war. I'm only seeing people in chariots get their asses kicked. Next up, we've got these hammer soldiers that are just, they are putting in work. They are demolishing people. It was at this point of my screening of the movie, though, that I realized that this is a child experiencing this. He's being put in a situation by Chris where he is killing people. The maximum age that I would place Joshua at is like 7. Granted, they do want to kill Joshua, but he is without hesitation whatsoever slashing and stabbing these guys like he's been doing it for 50 years. Also, who is this tiger character? He's absolutely fucking goated. He's like the John Wick of the Bible. This is insane. So Joshua and his army caused the Amalekites to retreat, and Joshua and his army just running after them with their hands up in the air. That's like power level 70. And that's a lot. And yeah, Joshua and his army win the battle. They fucked them up. God begins talking to Moses about creating the promised land. And the whole time that God is talking to him, Moses is just,
though the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation.
He's in another world. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if he took like 2 of his old person pills instead of 1 this morning or something, but I think he's high.
Though the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests.
And then a little bit later, God just straight up shows up as a lightning cloud and just says all of his rules to everyone.
I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything on earth or in heaven.
I didn't realize that the Old Testament was this on the nose. This is an interesting directing choice on the part of Jim Lyon, but at this point in the film, he starts inserting walrus people into the mix of characters. So I think that somewhere along the line, Jim Lyon was like, walrus people would add an extra layer that is missing from this film. And I agree with him. I think that there was an underrepresentation of walruses in this movie up until this point. So I think stylistically and just in terms of walrus representation, this was a really good move. I give that a rating of 5 pogging Moseses and 1 angry pharaoh. Moses tells Joshua to follow him up the mountain just to figure out what this God guy wants to say. But like halfway up the mountain, Moses just turns around and he's like,
"Wait here until I return."
And then he leaves Joshua there for 40 days. I guess normally in the context of the Bible, there's this whole thing where Moses and Joshua both like fast for 40 days. Also, I hate to bring our buddy Chris into this, but he's pretty much the source of every problem in this film. I think that we're implying that Chris thought it was a good idea to have Joshua wait there by himself for 40 days. So Joshua's kind of like in a dream, right? But he experiences that 40 days. So this has more of the energy of like a Black Mirror episode where this malevolent ghost is forcing someone to live out this messed up dream. So Moses receives the 10 Commandments, and I love the way that Jim Lyon shows this. God basically just becomes one of those laser cutters that you see on TikTok. I don't know what else to refer to this to. God is using laser cutting on the rock. So Moses has got the tablets, they head back down the mountain, and they start to hear singing from the freed slaves.
It is not the sound of victory or of defeat that I hear. It is the sound of singing.
That is the worst singing I have ever heard in the background of anything ever. It is just someone singing la 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 over and over again. However, what Moses does see freaks him the freak out.
No! No!
That has got to be the most heart that I have heard in any of the lines of this film. That is gut-wrenching.
No!
Yes. Moses is freaking out because he finds out that the Jews are worshiping this golden calf, which is a big no-no because God clearly said no idols. Have you ever been to Vacation Bible School? You should know this. I gotta say, I find it funny, after being spoken to by a lightning cloud, seeing the entire sea part. Hello, it's Ted, back sooner than expected with a lesson in following your dreams. When we were young, people always asked us what we want to be when we grow up. I'm sure some of you answered with things such as a firefighter or a painter or a massive 7-foot-tall muscle rat. I know I did. But in the case of a man by the name of Jeremy DeWitt, he answered police officer and then never stopped for the rest of his life. You see, Jeremy DeWitt runs a company called Metro State Special Services, which, according to their very own website, provides motorcycle escorts for funerals and VIPs. And holy crap, does he take that role seriously.
Out of my funeral! Get the fuck over before you find out! Stop! Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Sometimes you have to follow your dreams so hard that you end up facing 85 years in prison for impersonating a police officer. That's the nature of passion, and that's a commitment to your craft. I didn't originally know about this man Jeremy DeWitt, but luckily I caught my buddy Tucker giggling at his phone when he was visiting me in LA. And like the content creator I am, I turned on a camera and we got to indulge in some of the best moments of the man that just cannot stop impersonating a cop. Enjoy. And let me just nail this point in right now. He is not a cop, has no connection to any police department whatsoever. This man is a civilian.
He loves that little horn.
He's really using that like...
There's no need.
There is an expectation that people will move over for him.
He thinks he's a cop.
Because his job of escorting a dead body is so important.
I've been to a few funerals. We've never had an escort. Look, he's even got hash marks on the side of his whatever uniform he's made for his own company.
Yeah.
If you were a cop or a Marine or whatever, it would symbolize like how many years of service you have. He's probably done like four enlistments on his own company.
Can you imagine, like, your loved one has just died? Maybe a little bit of a rough day.
One of the darker days of your life.
One of the darker days of your life. And then you've got Jeremy DeWitt on his fucking bike.
There's his underling. Look, it's this Metro State Vehicle Protection Unit.
On the black and white vehicle with a fucking insignia next to it. Why do they need a vehicle protection unit? Is somebody going to steal the dead body?
When was the last time a funeral came under fire? These guys are putting the funeral in jeopardy.
You say.
I'd like to think he's just making hand gestures that don't make any sense to all of the surrounding person.
We gotta tell him to slow the fuck down. We're too far extended. Way fucking too far.
Like they're gonna get ambushed.
Yeah, like the fucking Taliban's gonna come over the hill.
Their worst case scenario is someone on their way to work cuts in.
Dude, do you see how fast he's going?
Hey there!
Don't fucking move!
Person's in the other lane.
They're not even involved.
Person going to Target.
Come on! Dude, get the fuck out of the way! Get out of the way! Move your fucking car, dog. Dumb fuck. Dumbass.
He's so rude. When you just wave your hands around, people don't know what you want. He's so in his like own world. It's crazy.
This is a police escort.
There it is. There's the evidence.
Did he actually said that?
He's on trial now, or he was, or whatever, based on his own videos.
Oh my god, he's absolutely fucking whipping it right now.
Stop! You! Get over now! I'm out of gas!
He's out of gas!
The way he yelled at who, like, the level of the gas in their vehicle surprises them. We're like, whoa! Usually it's like, you're like, oh, I'm at a quarter of a tank.
I want to hear that again. That's so funny.
I'm out of gas!
The level of desperation. He's gonna have to pull over and get gas, and the convoy's gonna come under fire. He's GoProing it. Cops don't even GoPro.
Cops specifically don't GoPro. Cops have been legislatively forced to GoPro. And this guy is like, oh yeah, I'll wear a body cam, and I'm putting it on YouTube.
He's got a badge.
He's got a badge! He's got a fucking badge, dude.
So as you notice, he's going for the regular, but then he realizes on GoPro, he goes for the premium.
So he finishes his gas, he gets the thing going, and he is
right
whipping
on the road.
it. He's got to be going like
probably 70, 80 right now.
80 miles an hour or something like that. He was fucking knife handing that dude. Like he was using the force on this guy so he could prevent him from going. No,
like it's Kylo Ren.
Hey! 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 Pull over!
That guy could not be more unfazed.
Pull your fucking car over!
He sounds like he's about to cry.
Pull over!
He saw the convoy and he was like, I drew the short straw on today's commute. Right now he's pulling a person over.
Or he's attempting to.
This guy's like, you see that? What the fuck do you want me to do?
They make it seem like the president is rolling through town.
He's hitting the car! He's hitting the guy's car! It'd be on the news if it was like traffic cop slams on person's car for not moving over within 30 seconds of being notified that he's moving over.
And the whole time that other guy's standing in front of his car. They have him boxed in.
He's literally trapped.
Get your fucking car out of the way now! I don't know what you... I don't give a fuck what you don't understand!
Didn't even let him like finish what he was saying. He was like, I don't even know what you want me to do.
Pull forward now! Pull forward now!
What are these cars over here thinking? They must be like, this cop is out of control.
Stop there! What the fuck is your problem?
Look at his face.
Dumbstruck.
I could be asking the same question to you, sir.
I didn't know what's the problem back there. Sit there!
And he just leaves.
And then he just leaves him. And then he just leaves him! And you know for a fact the guy was just like, sees him driving away and the guy was like...
It's probably like a dream for that guy. Like that guy went home and told his wife...
Honey, I think I got pulled over today.
But maybe not.
And I think that they were escorting a funeral. Are you sure? No, I'm not.
He always gets as far into the other lane as he can.
He's basically fucking British at this point.
This guy is acting as if he's a cop. Frickin' 9/11's going on.
I don't think I've ever been this stressed in my entire life.
No. This guy probably looks 20 years older than he is.
Ooh, that was nice. Nice move.
Got double XP on that one.
Yeah.
It's just a game to this guy.
I could absolutely guarantee this dude has had his cock under his waistband the entire time because he's got a hard boner right now.
I'm sorry?
You guys law enforcement?
Are you okay?
I'm great. Are you law enforcement?
I'm asking you a question. Are you okay?
If you're not law enforcement, I'm not stopping for you.
Listen, if you keep going, we'll figure it out real fast.
He's like just saying
He will
nothing.
not answer the question.
He's saying nothing to him.
We're with Metro State, and we're a state certified agency. You sit right there, please, sir. Come on, man, get out of the fucking way. I gotta deal with this fucking idiot. Move!
This guy's out of control.
Please don't continue.
Fuck you.
Hey, fuck boy. Hey, piece of shit, fuck boy. Motherfuck, fuck
Reach
boy.
for it.
He's absolutely the kind of guy that if he got punched in the face, he would turn into
He'd
a
be
baby.
on the ground in the middle of the intersection.
Rolling around.
Calling for all units. The incompetency in this kind of business must be insane. It'd be almost like if a bunch of airsofters became cops.
Go to the turning lane and recycle.
Recycle? They're on code names.
They're on code names. You got artillery, you got recycle.
This guy's probably like, when people show up, he's like, you're gonna get a nickname.
You look like you like to recycle like a bitch. I'm gonna call you Recycle from now on. DeWitt does not believe in recycling. He doesn't know what it means.
He doesn't know what it is.
He just thinks that the word is fun.
This is acting like Joe Biden just landed and they're rolling through the town on a top secret mission.
Yeah. This is the most recent arrest of Jeremy DeWitt.
Bro, leave my camera alone. Go ahead and sit up. Stay right there.
Justice.
This is justice. Look at his fucking boots. Dude, look at his fucking boots. He fucking shines those every night. His mother comes into the room and you gotta go to bed, son. Mother! No! I have to shine my boots. Otherwise, the funeral proceedings will not go as planned. There was a Dr. Phil segment that was talking about this Jeremy DeWitt thing. And he actually goes and he talks to Dr. Phil, which is ridiculous.
Law enforcement is accusing myself and my contractors of impersonating law enforcement. Nothing could be further from the truth. Even though we wear the high-vis yellow shirts and we are using the purple flashing lights, some law enforcement
thin blue line.
As he goes to testify on live television for the fact that he is in fact not a cop.
My company has received a total of 86 citations for running red lights or using an air horn. We've gone to court 30 to 40 different times.
You'd think that he'd stop going to court if he went to court 30 to 40 times, but he doesn't.
While on funeral escort, an off-duty officer hit me with his vehicle. While he was cutting in and out of the funeral, I slammed my hands on the hood to push myself away so he wouldn't actually run me over.
Yeah, right.
I was arrested for impersonating a law enforcement officer. If convicted, I could face up to 85 years in prison.
There he is.
Look at that.
He looks so fucking proud of himself.
Jeremy, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm all right.
Dr. Phil is sighing.
So this is your motorcycle?
Yes, sir.
And you've got 18 of these?
Yes, sir, we do.
And they're all this way, right?
Yes, sir.
He's so respectful.
That's how he gets you.
Can we hear it?
Sure, yes, sir.
That's so loud.
Look at these double flashlight and baton.
He's got a baton. Implies that, like, he might need to hit someone.
Like someone was resisting arrest.
And you think you've been harassed a lot by the
Yes.
police down there.
Yes,
Why
sir.
are they picking on you?
My past.
My past. He says my past, and then it is this shot of him dressed with the fucking short sleeves tight.
Couldn't look more like a cop.
His nipples
legally.
are absolutely perky as all hell.
excited.
He's so excited to talk about the fact that he's
Not a cop.
not a cop.
Well, what about your past?
Well, sir, once upon a time when I was a very young man, while in the academy, I impersonated a law enforcement officer.
Really? Really? Well, Jeremy, I wouldn't expect such a thing from you.
Yeah, but this was like years and
1998.
years.
Yeah, this is years and years ago.
I'm
You've
done with
learned
that.
your ways. You're
I
not
learned my
doing that
lesson.
shit anymore. Of course not. At the end of the day, this guy is a ridiculous character. The funerals these days, they're not getting the protection they need, and Jeremy, he's really bringing the strength and valor to the table that he needs.
2020 taught us anything. It's that funerals, more now than ever, need our support.
Goddamn. Just a quick announcement before I let you guys go. I am going to be launching the third and final drop of the Good Stuff merch line that I've been doing for the last year. We'll have the skeleton tee, which people really like. We'll have this embroidered sweatshirt that says the Good Stuff on it in 2 separate colors. We'll have the original milk tie-dye long sleeve, and it'll also come in another color, and the Serve Cold tie-dye tee. And the actual physical clothing that we're printing on this time around is a much higher quality material. I felt this would be another cool way to celebrate hitting 1 million subscribers by launching the original designs from my first merch launch. It's all going to be dropping in mid-September. I don't have a specific date yet, but if you follow me on Twitter, you will know that date very soon. Thanks for watching this video, folks. Quick announcement before the video starts. I got a brand new podcast I started with my best friend Tucker. It's called Take It Easy. It's brand new. It's hot off the press. I'm really excited about it. I wanted to do something like this with Tucker for years now. And we got a Patreon where there's a bunch of bonus content and gaming content and an advice show that I run. Check it out if you want. Check it out if you're cool. And now on to the video. So about 2 months ago, I was advertised this show on TikTok, Return of His Majesty. It was about a man that had become the Emperor of China, and he decided to go back to his hometown and marry the woman that he said he would when he became the Emperor. But with one catch. He would pretend to be a normal peasant so that people wouldn't make a big deal. You know, because of the paparazzi. Reasonably, nobody believed that he was the Emperor. But he kept up the act for so long and kept escalating the situation by implying that he was the Emperor that every person in power disrespected him and showed their corruption. And it ended with him revealing the truth and executing everybody. It seems like a simple plot. 1.5 hour long movie. I was so engrossed in how long this ordeal would keep up that I actually downloaded the app and paid for premium so I could watch the whole thing. A moment of weakness. I can't say I'm proud of that one. What I didn't realize is that it wasn't $15 a month, it was $15 a week. And I forgot to cancel my subscription. So I've been paying 4 times the amount that I thought I was. It was like taking candy from a baby, except that I'm the baby and the candy was $150. But from this experience, I became interested in this specific category of these TikTok-like movies, and that category is hidden identity. Hiding amongst the trees, being all hidden, hiding around. Who is that guy? Hidden identity. Every movie in this category creates a level of tension or satisfaction for the viewer by utilizing dramatic irony, which is just a fancy way of saying that the viewer knows something that a lot of the characters and people in a story do not. And I get why they make these. It can be satisfying to be in on it in a matter of speaking while the characters on screen are flailing around and don't know what they're doing. And we get to say to the screen, "Oh, you're in for it now, buddy." Everyone says that. There's probably more hidden identity stories on these apps than any of the other popular categories they have, such as favorites like werewolf or a strange fascination with the mafia. But in my peruse of these hidden identity stories, none have even come close to being as convoluted and multi-layered as the movie that we're going to be talking about today, which is My Loser Daddy is a Big Shot. Right off the bat, amazing title. Simultaneously insults Daddy, but also hypes him up. And to be clear, this movie is not to be confused with other very prominent daddy titles on the Real Shorts app, such as Mommy, Don't Cry, Daddy is Sorry, spoiled by the daddy CEO during pregnancy. Or who could forget, Mommy, quick, Daddy's hot on our tail. My Loser Daddy is a Big Shot is an action film. It's a mystery, it's a drama, there's love triangles, there's action, there's intrigue. It involves the military, politicians, royalty, and corporations. But either way, let's dive right into it. The movie opens up with Ethan Woods, the main character, saving his daughter Cassie from some mercenaries that had kidnapped her. He's supposed to be this incredibly skilled special ops guy, but I also think he's a super soldier.
Daddy!
You caught the bullet? Because he can catch bullets. I can't do that. And my mom thinks I'm really special. It didn't even look like the bullet went anywhere near his hand. Like, he for sure got shot in the chest. But he's like, I actually caught it. Pretty sure I shot you in the chest. No, I caught it. What do you mean? I can see it's still in its casing. Why? This is yours. I know it is. I caught it. No, well, okay, I can see you're bleeding. I can see that you're bleeding right now. You're bleeding. I just do that. What? Yeah, sometimes I bleed. Sorry. You have a bullet wound. I'm disabled. You've been shot. Oh, you're gonna make fun of a disabled man? No. You're gonna make fun of a disabled man? No, I'm not like that. Fuck you, man. I caught it. There's also some pretty funny transitions between each section in this movie, too. Like, at one point, he's 15 feet away from this guy, and then it goes to the next episode, and he's right on him. Got a knife to his neck.
You can threaten me all you want, but no one, absolutely no one threatens my daughter.
Well, he's going a bit further than threatening you. Stop threatening me. He straight up tried to shoot you. He did shoot you. Are you okay, sweetheart? Just fully executes a man in front of his daughter.
I tried to warn them.
Oh, she's used to this. After saving his daughter, the rest of Ethan's team show up, and we find out that they're trying to find the killers of a man named General Osborn, as well as root out any traitors to their organization, the Guardian Force. And this is where Ethan begins his hidden identity journey.
Keep searching.
I'm going undercovers.
I'll set you up with a cover job.
What was that?
I'm going undercovers.
Huh? What was that?
I'm going undercovers.
At first I thought this was a typo in the subtitles. He actually said that he was going undercovers. I enjoy that. That's like the military way of saying he's going to have a nap. And then also, despite going undercover, Ethan's also got a date in the city because he wants to provide Cassie with a mom.
Get me home. I got a date.
Daddy, you're finally gonna get me a mommy?
Single father problems, am I right? But before we keep going on with this movie, we need to talk about today's sponsor, which is Saley. To put it simply, Saley is an easy-to-use and affordable eSIM service that provides reliable mobile and internet connection plans in over 190 countries across the world. I was pretty excited about this sponsor because I'm going to be traveling abroad this summer with my family, and I wasn't really looking forward to having to pay as much as I have been for roaming fees. Respectfully, they're bleeding me dry. And let's be honest, nobody wants to be desperately looking around for a Wi-Fi connection in a McDonald's in Bangkok when you could just have an eSIM and save yourself the stress. With Saley, an eSIM only needs to be installed once, so you don't have to keep installing a new eSIM for each country. You save time because you don't have to wait in line at the airport to get a local SIM card. And you won't get tricked by some devious scammer selling fake SIM cards outside train stations and airports. Get out of here! Okay, geez. And they've got 24/7 support, so you can get assistance when something isn't right. The interface is pretty simple and user-friendly, so even if you're a first-time eSIM user, it can work for you. And all Saley eSIM plans are compatible with iOS or Android devices. So what are you waiting for? Permission? You've got it. So go download the app or go to saley.com/Nivison and use code Nivison at checkout to get an exclusive 15% discount on Saley data plans. Thank you guys for supporting the sponsor. And let's get back to the video.
The chopper will take you back to the city.
Remember to keep my identity hidden.
Yes, sir.
Why is that even a question when it comes to going undercover? Does he need to remind them of this every time? All right, I'm heading out on my mission. Oh, by the way, make sure to keep my identity hidden, please. Again? I really wanted to tell my friends this time. Nope, gotta keep it hidden. Ugh. You're no fun. Before we continue, I need to break down Ethan's hidden identity for you because it has several layers. At the first layer, you've got his cover, which is Ethan Woods. Not a cover name, just his real name. And he's working as a dishwasher. He used to be in the army, but he disappeared for several years because of his second layer, which is that he was the leader of SEAL Team 6 during that time, which was classified, so he didn't tell his family and friends. On the third and final layer, Ethan is the commander of the Guardian Force, which is like a peacekeeping/spy organization that's super powerful. This is his true identity. So Ethan was in the army, joined the Navy SEALs, and is now the commander of the Guardian Force. But what people think is that he was in the army, he disappeared for several years, and now he's shown back up as a dishwasher. That's his hidden identity, so let's get back into it. The next day, while Ethan is waiting for his date, we are introduced to Leanne Osborne, who is the CEO of the Osborne Group. She's on the phone refusing to marry a man named Raymond Stewart, who is a member of their rival corporation, the Stewart Group, because she just doesn't like him. And apparently marrying him would somehow merge their companies.
I'm not marrying Raymond Stewart. A merger would just take my power away.
So I guess corporate life is kind of how like royal families work in this world. I don't think the writers understand how corporations even work because this is like weird lore. Either way, Leanne's plan is to marry someone on paper quick so she can't be forced to marry Raymond. Meanwhile, Ethan's date Tina shows up, who happens to be a project director at the Osborne Group, and I don't think that a date could go south as fast and as badly as it does here.
So,
Daddy.
You have a kid?
Yeah, I mentioned I was a single father.
So if you told her, she has no right to be upset. Why is she acting surprised?
What do you do for work?
I'm a veteran, and I just got a job here as a dishwasher.
A dishwasher? That pays nothing. On top of that, you're a single dad? What on earth made you think you could date me?
What's funny about this moment is that later on in the film, it's revealed that this was a blind date, but he still let her know that he was a single father beforehand. He was transparent about that. But she begins to berate Ethan for his salary as a dishwasher, bragging that her bag costs more than what he makes in a year. And very early on into this interaction, Ethan's like, you can leave.
I need a man that puts me first, not his kid.
You can leave whenever you want.
But she keeps going.
You went to the army because you had no other option.
That's none of your business.
It is when you're wasting my time.
Please don't be angry. Here, this flower's for you.
Nobody wants your stupid flower. And don't touch my bag.
She wasn't even near your bag.
You couldn't even afford to clean my bag. Even if you sold your daughter.
Dude, why does she keep going? What is her problem?
Please leave.
Ethan, you have no idea who you're dealing with, do you?
Ethan, you son of a bitch. I will burn everything that you know and love. How dare you try to go on a date with me as a dishwasher, you dirty, dirty boy. I will eat your daughter.
Even the kid's like, this woman's a psychopath.
Dad, why won't you leave?
Don't tell me what to do, brat.
I love how real that reaction is. Ethan is speechless that someone like this could even exist. She's got to be rocking RFK brainworms or something. She's got to have a parasite chewing on her amygdala. At least. Like, this can't just be because he works as a dishwasher and is a single father. Is it? Luckily, Leanne overhears this whole conversation and she confronts Tina, and Tina starts being evil to her too.
You said you work at Osborne Group? Who the fuck are you? Why do you care?
She doesn't recognize the CEO of the company she works at? She's got bloodlust. She can't even see straight.
Your name's Tina, right? Why? Scared now?
By your name? Ah, yes, the scariest name in the world. Tina. So Leanne fires Tina for her behavior towards Ethan and Cassie. This woman needs help. After firing Tina, Leanne proposes the idea of getting married to Ethan, saying that she just needs it for the paperwork and she'll give Cassie a very good life. So Ethan just agrees and they get married. Immediately upon moving into Leanne's home, Ethan discovers that her house has been bugged.
Military grade bug.
Who the hell would bug my house?
You're under surveillance.
And that may be my favorite moment in this movie happens.
Hey, won't you come on out? You've been waiting long enough.
Dragon Jack, what are you doing here?
An immediate response. They had to be at the door, waiting. Also, Dragon Jack? Who is this character? Apparently they're part of a secret assassination organization called Dragon X, but the costumes do not line up with that job description. It looks like Dragon Jack came from a Peaky Blinders audition, and the other guys he just picked up from a convenience store. So Dragon Jack and his goons are there to force Leanne to sign a marriage contract with Raymond Stewart, but she once again refuses. So Dragon Jack tries to coerce her by threatening her assistant by creating some sort of like Robin Hood scenario with an apple on her head. This guy's got to be the Craigslist hire. He's got to be. Guy on the right snarling, and then the other guy's like, wait, what are we doing here? What's the plan here? Luckily, Ethan intervenes right before the knife can hit her assistant.
Let me show you how this is done.
And this turns into a lot of back and forth. Ethan gets his gun. Dragon Jack's throwing out a lot of threats.
Drop the gun, or my men outside will come in here and kill everyone.
My men, all wearing progressively more elaborate and confusing outfits, will come in and kill everyone. I've even got a mime with a rocket launcher. Do you understand how terrifying that is?
I've got 30 men outside, and they'll beat your dad to a pulp.
Oh shit, he's got 30 more guys Ethan's got to fight? Some might say this is about to get really intense.
Either they take me out, or I take them out.
Dragon Jack, seems like you're short about 20. That's 2 guys. And I cannot get over the costumes that these members of a secret assassination organization are wearing. They either came from an Imagine Dragons concert or they're gearing up to play airsoft in the woods. So Ethan goes outside with all of the Dragon X goons, beats him up, and lets Jack go for some reason. And later that night, Leanne offers to pay for him and Cassie to flee the country, but he doesn't want this.
As your legal husband, I'm responsible for your safety. Don't worry, I can protect you.
I'll protect you, especially after how we just got attacked today.
Tomorrow I'm actually going to my dad's house for his birthday. It's been a while since I've seen my family, so I'm gonna get some rest.
Oh, but actually, I also need to go to my dad's birthday tomorrow. So, the day after tomorrow, I'll protect you. The day after tomorrow, that's when I'll start protecting you. Ethan then finds out from his second-in-command, Brooklyn, that Leanne is the sister of Steve Osborne, the guy he's trying to solve the killing of.
No wonder Steven mentioned the Osborne Group before he died.
Really, Ethan? No wonder the guy with the same last name of the company my new wife is the CEO of that mentioned the company before he died is involved. Whoa.
Just remember to keep my identity with the Guardian Force a secret.
Yes, sir.
Why does he keep having to tell her this? It's starting to feel like she's known for not being able to keep a secret.
Hey, real quick, you're keeping my identity hidden, right? Yes, I said I would. You better be, because I'm undercover. Yeah, no, I get it. Don't tell people.
But I want to! Don't. I really, really
Do not.
want to tell people. I have to.
Don't do it.
One post,
No,
dude.
no,
One
don't.
post, come on.
Don't do it.
Just one post? One post, please?
Don't do it.
What a fucking asshole.
So the next day, Ethan and Cassie show up to his dad's birthday. And this brings us to the first of a unique type of scene that I've found in these hidden identity movies, which I have named a gauntlet. A gauntlet is a scene in a hidden identity movie where almost all of the characters there are unbelievably unsympathetic antagonists to the main character. There is nothing that they say or do that can be viewed in a positive light. And they're all really angry and evil, almost to the point where it feels like you're in a dream. It's surreal. On top of that, every antagonist has a set of established beliefs about the main character that is so unbelievably resistant to change that they rapidly escalate their aggression when it's challenged, and anything introduced that they don't know already is assumed to either be a lie or a scam. That's how they work. Now, the 3 rules of a gauntlet are: 1, it can only be resolved by an outside person of authority entering the scene and punishing someone. 2, that punishment is either being fired or being executed. And 3, there is always at least 1 slap. But often, there is more. When the main character enters a gauntlet scene, it's kind of like entering a boss room in Dark Souls, or at the end of Halo Reach where the mission just says to survive. And with how weirdly these scenes operate and the amount of characters involved, I'm gonna summarize them in a different way, and I'm just gonna give you all the facts right now. So get ready. Here we go, here are the facts. Ethan and Cassie are the only good people here, and they are challenged by Ethan's relatives. His dad, Mr. Woods, who is the chief of police and running for senator. His dad's wife, don't know her name. His half-brother, Bradley, who is also employed at the Osborne Group. Bradley's wife, who is also very evil. And this couple who's not named, but they're also evil too. Everyone in this scene thinks that Ethan deserted the military, and that's why he was gone for so many years. And they detest the fact that he's a dishwasher. They hate it so much, they can smell it on him.
Oh my God, who's this? He stinks like dirty dishwater.
Isn't that just soapy water? This is an ongoing theme in this movie. Being a dishwasher in this world is the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Dishwasher?
Dishwasher. Scrubbing dishes?
Still just a dishwasher?
Working as a dishwasher like you're on the run.
You got liars, thieves, criminals, the devil himself. Below that, dishwasher. Even his dad hates him.
Dad, I'm back. Happy birthday.
There's the slap. As we know, even if Ethan explains that his time missing is classified information, they just assume it's a lie.
I'm running for office, and you've been gone for years like a deserter, only to show up now?
Deserter? You disappeared for years. You left the military.
And tell me where you've been all these years.
It's classified. Can't talk about it.
That's the funniest excuse I've ever heard.
They're always like, there's no fucking way that's true, Ethan. Nice try. It's like, did Ethan do something to his family that we're not aware of? They're not nice to Cassie either. His dad's wife rips up her drawing for her grandpa right in front of her. Then Bradley's wife stomps some cake on the floor and tells Cassie to lick it up.
Lick that up, and then get lost with your dad.
It's comically evil.
You've gone too far.
You think you can come here with a child's drawing and freeload?
I love how much stake they're putting in a child's drawing being offensive to them. You show up here after so many years, and what's worse, your kid's drawing isn't even good, Ethan. That's a bad drawing your daughter made there. That's a shitty drawing.
No.
I'm disgusted by your child's drawing, Ethan. I'm disgusted. And then when Cassie claims that Ethan is married to Leanne Osborne, obviously they think that's a lie too.
You're getting your kid to lie in front of everyone?
All of this escalates to the point where just from Ethan and Cassie showing up, Ethan's dad disowns him.
Don't call me dad. You disappear for years and then show up with a kid out of nowhere, and you ran away from the military? I don't have a son like you.
Please let me explain.
No.
Things devolve very quickly. But just as Ethan's father is actively disowning him, Leanne Osborne walks in the house with a selection of gifts for Ethan's father. And Ethan's entire family does not recognize the connection between the previous conversation they had and the fact that Leanne Osborne just walked in with gifts for the dad.
Brad, that was your chance. Introduce me to Miss Osborne. She could support my campaign.
The synapses are not clicking. I don't even know if this lack of pattern recognition is even possible in a healthy human being. They think that she's here because of Bradley's work at the Osborne Group.
We are honored, all thanks to Bradley's hard work.
Never seen so much gold in my life.
You better get used to it thanks to Bradley's shiny outlook now.
Did they all just forget what the fuck just transpired? But now in the context of the gauntlet, the person of authority is here. So Cassie spills the beans to Leanne. So Leanne gives a slap, fires Bradley, and the whole family can't believe that this is how things worked out.
Why does Ethan always get everything?
How am I supposed to run for office?
So Ethan survived the first gauntlet. What I think is incredible about how these scenes work is that usually when someone has a hidden identity, the challenge is in maintaining your cover. But in these scenes, all of the other characters are doing the work for Ethan because they can't believe he'd be anything but his fake identity, which I guess is like good for Ethan. The next day, Leanne runs into an emergency because Princess Isabel Grimaldi, the Princess of Monaco, is kidnapped from one of the Osborne Group's hotels, and it's apparently her company's fault and their stock is tanked. In reality, the kidnapping was done by Raymond Stewart as a means to once again try to get Leanne to marry him by saying that he has the resources to get the princess back. And to make matters worse, the government of Monaco gives Leanne 30 minutes to solve the situation.
When will we have news about the princess?
I'll press the police for updates.
Don't bother. You have a half hour.
30 minutes? That's barely enough time to drive to and from somewhere close by. That's like the equivalent of saying, if the Princess of Monaco isn't here when I count to 10, I'm gonna be very mad. But of course, Ethan goes to where the princess is being held hostage and starts fighting all of the guys.
Beyond 7 steps, the gun's faster. But under 7 steps, the fist beats gun.
What sort of rule is that? He's talking about this rule like it doesn't just apply to him.
Didn't I tell y'all? You were surrounded?
What now? You really think I believe that these red dots are your snipers?
Nobody believes anything from this guy. He just caught a bullet. Oh, you expect me to believe you? The guy who just took down every person in this room with special ops precision, that you have snipers? Yeah, right. So Ethan saves the Princess of Monaco, and they share a hug longer than Ethan seems comfortable with. And he brings her back to the Osborne Group just in time.
Did you find the princess?
3, 2, 1. Look up.
Why? What was the purpose of that exercise? Why did he do that? Also, this is where like a weird side plot develops where the Princess of Monaco is like in love with Ethan, and she's like all over him right now. She's going for maximum surface area on the touch here. The next scene is just the Stewart group scheming to frame Ethan as a deserter by forging documents to get him arrested. Normal stuff, and that's important, but what I think is more important is Hendrik Stewart and his crazy fucking beard. When this man showed up on my screen, I was mouth agape. I've never seen a person with a beard like this before, and frankly, I'm obsessed. He's looking good. Dare I say dashing. I think that if he lived in another era, I think he may have ended up being a prophet of sorts, and I would have been his disciple. He's incredible. Look at him. But unfortunately, in this story, he's evil. Anyways, Ethan ends up being invited to a veterans reunion for his old unit from the army, and he decides to go, but what he doesn't realize is that he's walking right into his second gauntlet. That's right. The Veterans Party Gauntlet. Let me break it down. Hold on tight. You're about to get a lot of information. Hold on. Here we go. Tom, Ethan's old buddy from the army, invites him to the gauntlet because Jeremy West, son of the governor, is the investment advisor for the Princess of Monaco, and he is going to advise her to invest in Tom's new security firm company he started. Jeremy West is also now dating our old friend Tina, so she's there as well.
Are you a dishwasher?
Once again, upon Ethan arriving, things go sour real fast. Mostly because he's a dishwasher.
This is a reunion for former soldiers, not dishwashers.
I'm confused at the mutual exclusivity of that. So in this world, being a dishwasher after you get out of the military erases your veteran status? Got it. Okay, cool. This escalates to Jeremy ordering Tom to smash a bottle of wine over Ethan's head. But luckily, Tom's one of the boys. He rides with his brothers.
Ethan is my brother.
But because Tom isn't like a piece of shit, Jeremy says that he's not gonna have the princess invest in his company.
I'm not gonna fight him. All you needed to do was put this loser in his place and you hesitated. I gave you a chance and you blew it.
All you needed to do was assault this man with a wine bottle for my entertainment, but you blew it, dude. You blew it. But then Jeremy's like, I actually wasn't gonna invest in the first place.
I never planned on investing in your company anyway.
But then Ethan's like, okay, well, fuck you guys. I'm gonna call the Princess of Monaco. She's got the hots for him, so she shows up and delivers the slap. Gotta have the slap. Law of the gauntlet. Law of the gauntlet. You gotta have the slap. And then when all the bad guys are just like confused, the Princess of Monaco puts it all on the table.
If only you knew the truth. I would love everyone to think that me and Ethan are together.
Yes. Madagascar, another movie series that DreamWorks decided to squeeze the living life out of until the IP ran dry. It's been a while since I've seen Madagascar, but I do remember having a particular love For the penguin that didn't know how to speak. It starred very notable voice actors such as Chris Rock, David Schwimmer, and of course, the illustrious Ben Stiller, who, by the way, was on the cover of Time for most likely to be that one guy that sticks around behind at a party after everyone's left and makes the host very uncomfortable. When you've got such a powerful blockbuster series such as Madagascar, it's to be expected that there are people that are gonna make knockoffs. I've covered knockoff mockbuster movies on this channel before. One of them notably was called The Prodigy, which was a Kung Fu Panda knockoff written by Robert D. Hanna. Well, our boy Robert is back with probably the crowning achievement of his writing, directing, and producing career, a little film called Life's a Jungle, Africa's Most Wanted. There's a slight chance that title might seem familiar to you because it was released the same year as Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. So I think essentially what good old Bob was trying to do here was he was trying to capitalize off of the hype that was building for the new Madagascar movie. I can't name a single person that was like a fanatic of the Madagascar series. Oh, I gotta fucking see Ben Stiller play a fucking lion. I need to see Chris Rock play a zebra and do the dance. I genuinely just don't know why people would choose this movie over a studio produced animated film. Or maybe like some 6-year-old's parents just didn't want to pay to take him to the new Madagascar movie, so they just bought a DVD of Life's a Jungle because they're fucking 6 and they don't know the difference. Pretty much the only similarity that this movie has with the entire Madagascar franchise is that you've got an animal living a cushy life that is removed from that environment, and he has to figure out how to sort of make it in the wild. So strap in, buckle on up, get your loins warmed up. Let's watch another terrible movie. This'll be fun. Hey, sorry about the mess. I'm moving out of my childhood home. Quick announcement though. My merch has been live for 4 days now. I'm currently wearing one of the pieces right now. This is the Milk tie-dye shirt. I freaking love it. Me and Leighton Stollard work super freaking hard on these designs, and I hope you guys like them. We've also got the Outro Design shirt, the Empire State of Milk shirt, the Cream Times Cream Time hat, and the Cyber Cow War tee. If you're interested in getting this merch, then you can check it out at thegoodstuffmilk.co, and the link is in the description. For all of you who have already purchased merch so far, thank you guys so much. I seriously appreciate the support. It's actually been crazy, and I'm really proud that you guys like the designs as much as I do. All right, back to the video, baby. Listen, no movie review would be complete without reading first a plot summary of the film written by the filmmakers themselves. Pip thought he had it all. A pampered lifestyle, huge mansion, and adoring owners. That is, until the Taylor family booked an African safari. Pip finds himself separated from his clan, which forces him to reluctantly adapt to a new way of life in the jungle. As he bridges the divide between feuding wildlife, he learns that caviar and manicures can never bring the same happiness as friendship. Oh, that's beautiful. That's fucking beautiful. Like any respectable blockbuster set in a jungle, we open up with plenty of really badly tracked sweeping shots of the jungle in which we spend most of this movie in. It's also sort of a marker for how Robert D. Hanna opens up his movies, because this is practically exactly how The Prodigy opened up. We get a glimpse of the incredible biodiverse atmosphere that Bob's built with this film. It's really incredible, especially with these two fucking birds here. I don't think I could animate a pair of birds that badly, even if I tried. If I was a tiger walking through a jungle and I saw a bird acting like that, I would have been like, you're first. I'm coming for you. Next up is a 3-toed sloth that is swinging from a very rigid vine. Also, I noticed that there's really no trees that sloth could be swinging from at the moment, because the only things in the area are like 4 bamboo shoots, and they definitely don't have offshoot branches that are strong enough to support a sloth swinging from a vine. He looks like he's doing some sort of reverse pole vaulting that also doesn't consider gravity. This intro lasts for about 1.5 minutes longer, which I don't know if you know this, but that's actually 1.5 minutes longer than I would have preferred, only to end on this incredible shot of a dog wearing a sweater vest exiting a tent on his hind legs. And you might be saying, well, Ted, the animals in Madagascar walk on their hind legs, so that's a strike for me. Well, hold that strike there for one moment, user 1345629, okay? Because the dog literally goes right up to his owner and just starts interacting with him on his hind legs. All right, so the theme has been set, folks, and that theme is there is no consistency on how these animals interact with humans and also each other in regards regards to stature. Also, this dog is not only wearing a sweater vest, but he's also wearing a shirt under it. Like, this motherfucker's layering. Ooh, this dog's looking like a Gucci model. I regret saying that. So the owner of the dog comes up and starts talking to him, and the dog is still standing on his hind legs. So I guess what we would consider as the audience right away is that this is just a dog that stands on his hind legs, right? Which is an interesting piece of lore to wrap your head around, but it gets more confusing later. So the boy and the dog, whose name that we now know is Pip, start driving across the Sahara because they're going on a safari in the jungle. And there's just this strange lack of sound throughout this whole scene. There's a haunting absence of sound in this scene. It is spooky. And there is also an abundance of incredibly dangerous driving maneuvers on the part of the safari guide. I don't know who hired this guy, but he's gonna fucking kill this family. And he almost does. Eventually they just reach a sign. And what's funny about this sign is that it's only made up of symbols. Like, there's just this implication that there's no infrastructure around an organized safari. Like, come on. Who's running the safari? The mafia? Once they reach the jungle, there's this terrible opening shot of them at this place called Vista Point, which I'm pretty sure is a village, but it's populated by rhinos. This is what I was talking about before. Why are rhinos standing when humans are just passing by? And why are they standing like this? I'm not even sure if they're trying to do what they do in Madagascar or even Toy Story, where when humans are around, they pretend like they're not what they actually are. In this case, they don't even care. Can you imagine the fucking power play it would be if you were an intelligent rhino and you were just like, I'm gonna fucking stand up on my hind legs and wave at the humans as they pass by? What is going through the rhino's mind that they're just like, hey, how's it going? So they travel deeper into the jungle, going like 60 miles per hour, first of all, so, you know, illegal. But for some reason, this one rhino is completely minding its own business. But upon seeing the car, it gets beyond pissed off. And he intercepts the Jeep and attacks it. Which of course knocks Pip off the Jeep, and then he bounces down the hill and passes out. Oh, okay, flashback. That's a marker of a good film. So essentially what this scene serves to do for the audience is it shows them that Pip was like a spoiled brat of a dog, I guess. He uses a golden toilet. He can recognize himself in a mirror. He is fed caviar and fish. He also just like openly talks to one of his owners at one point, and she reacts as if she heard him.
You missed one. So they're having a conversation because clearly these animals can't decide whether or not they want humans to know if they can talk or not. Next up is this like anti-cat scene where it intros with this shot. Like, the editor really just could not be fucked to include more than one bell jingle. In this one moment here, that sound is used 70 times in a row. It's just the same sound 70 times. These people making this film are insane. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. That alone is enough to be a war crime, okay? They're going to federal prison. He's also wearing an anti-cat shirt, as if it wasn't already clear to the audience prior to watching this film that there's a stereotype in media of dogs hating cats. He goes and he bullies this cat for a little bit because he's an asshole. But then as he's walking away, the cat picks up and throws a baseball at him. And then I think, I'm not entirely sure if this is true, I think the cat puts a curse on him. That was like an intentional animation thing, and we know that the editor won't use new sound effects unless he's fucking strangled to. I think the filmmaker is trying to tell us that the reason why Pip fell out of the car is because this random fucking cat that he bullied put a curse on it. We're only really operating on context clues right now because there's been maybe 3 lines exchanged in this film so far. So he wakes up after being passed out and he's greeted by a baby jaguar, which he tries to bully because he's an asshole.
Roar.
But of course, everybody knows the rules. You fuck with the baby, you get the mama's teeth. Another funny thing is that right now in the movie, after Pip has fallen out of the car and passed out for God knows how long, that's when the boy realizes that the dog is gone.
Mom, Dad, where's Pip?
Which means that after they were literally attacked by a rhinoceros, they just fucking kept going. Didn't check to see if anyone was okay. They fucking booked it. So next up, we're introduced to these hyena characters, which, as expected with any group of hyenas in an animated film in Africa, they're the comedic relief. These hyenas are like Italian mobsters or something.
Well, Pip, that big city stuff doesn't play too well out here, buddy. Ain't that right, boo-boo?
Yeah, that's right, Cuckoo. We're in the jungle, baby.
And they basically take Pip under their wing as long as he earns his keep. So the hyenas take Pip back to their house. Yes, I said house because they have a house. And before with the rhinos, I sort of brushed it off because I was like, oh, those are rhinos and they just happen to be populating like a human village. But no, that village belonged to the rhinos. The rhinos built that village, which means these hyenas built that house. In fact, it turns out that pretty much every animal in this film has a house, it seems. And the amount of human things that they do just doesn't line up with the fact that they're supposed to be wild animals. They're keeping meat in barrels. They're storing food. So in order for the hyenas to be impressed by Pip, they basically give him like a trial. They want to see how big his testicles are. And his trial is to walk across this bridge to reach this conveniently placed bucket of fish, and do your best to avoid the crocodiles that live in the river. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the sound designer for this film, but he decided that whenever the crocodiles closed their mouths, he was going to use the same punching sound every single time they closed their mouths. The sound designer is a goddamn madman. He's out of control. I have no doubt in my mind at this point that he is a war criminal. I had my suspicions before, but now I'm definitely sure this man needs to be in prison. I do have to say though, the way those crocodiles are animated, it's pretty good. So Pip basically falls asleep that night. And he has another dream back in the past when he was pampered and he was having a good time. And he's getting like a massage from his owner, and he decides to turn on the TV. And probably the most ridiculous thing that happens next is that they put a knockoff within a knockoff. They literally put The Prodigy on the TV in this film. How big of an ego do you have to have, Rob, to promote your own film within one of your films? So Pip and the hyenas go down to the watering hole in order to get a drink because they're a little bit parched, and I understand. They've been doing a lot of work lately. In a weird moment, I guess Pip has the intuition to save the mama jaguar from just being randomly attacked by the evil rhino guy. Who I guess is like the leader of the rhino clan they mention at some point. And he is very protective of his watering hole. Okay, we saw what happened before. He attacked a fucking moving vehicle because he's potentially invincible. And then he also saves the stupid baby jaguar from getting killed because he waltzes up to the watering hole like an idiot. And it starts this really intense and slightly unnecessary standoff between the jaguar and the standing rhinoceros.
Akan, this time you've gone too far after my innocent child.
But it begins with this shot. Like, what was that rhino trying to do to the baby jaguar? He wasn't trying to eat it because rhinos are herbivores. So, like, I think he was just trying to murder the kid, like, which is, like, pretty fucked up. So at this point, Pip pretty much earns his keep with the group. He's kind of one of the boys now, all right? But then we're like 40 minutes into the film, and they decide to introduce 3 new main characters into the film. All right, I'm going to go through them right now. You've got Artie, who is either a kangaroo or an anteater, but I'm not sure. You've got Flash, the 3-toed sloth, and here's an interesting point about Flash. This right here is probably the only point in which Robert D. Hanna has written something that is entirely original, which is naming the sloth Flash. Because if you think about it, that's the same name as the sloth that's in Zootopia, that's in the DMV, except that movie came out in 2016. This movie came out in 2012. But then all of a sudden there's this whole thing where they just acknowledge a plot hole in the movie. They acknowledge that 3-toed sloths are from South America, but the reason why Flash is in Africa is because he got lost.
He's a 3-toed sloth. Aren't you supposed to be in South America?
Well, I was never too good with maps and I got lost.
And he stayed because he kind of likes it here.
Besides, I kind of like it here.
Then Pip just nods. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Then there's this bird character named Lou, who I think proceeds to threaten Pip.
I'd watch your back if I were you. Always be alert if you don't want to become a tasty meal for someone.
That was a little out of pocket, Lou. After meeting all of these characters, in a sudden shift of tone, Pip just suddenly goes, I want to go home, and then runs away.
You know, I really miss Nathan. Nathan's my master. I've at least got to try and get home.
And all the characters are like, you're not gonna fucking make it, you dumbass. So he gets picked up by a giant bird, but then Artie shoots like wooden spikes with his mouth at him. I didn't know he was a ninja. Artie's fucking cool. So Pip's falling out of the sky. I don't know what it is about these shots, but they look faker than the rest of the film. These shots look like they shot him on green screen within the world that they're in. And then basically after falling for like 20 seconds, he's saved by Lou. Okay, so the next part of the movie really isn't that important, but I thought I would mention it just because it's kind of strange. I think that this was used just to fill time. I'm not sure, but I've got a pretty good idea. Essentially, after Pip and the gang return to camp, they decide to play a game of what is kind of football, but not really. The film has them play the whole game, and it doesn't really serve the plot at all. And as an audience member, I'm just sitting here and watching this, and I'm like, what is the point of this? And then after that, Pip's like, well, I'm gonna show you guys a real sport. And he shows them golf. And listen, I'm not even going to talk about the fact that they had a fully prepared field for this game. Like they have a fucking YMCA in the jungle. They essentially reach this point in the story where the main objective is to acquire water from the watering hole. So they try a couple of strategies, and one of them is where they take Lou and like 2 Lou shadow clones or something. Like they just kind of appeared out of nowhere. They try to do like these dive bombs where they scoop up the water, and that obviously isn't gonna fucking work. But then, after having a boys talk with the hyenas, Pip gets an idea. He's gonna recreate human plumbing. Pip literally designs and builds an entire plumbing system that takes the water from the watering hole and sends it to the village. And they're using tools. Like at this point, I just feel like Robert D. Hanna, when he was writing this film, was just like, I'm gonna have him build a town. Pip remembered the plumbing system and was like, I guess I'm gonna build a plumbing system now. And of course, this wouldn't be a classic F-tier movie by Robert D. Hanna if we did not include a dancing scene.
Roof, rough, roof, rough, rough.
But uh-oh. All the fun's interrupted by the Crocodile Boys, because they found the plumbing that definitely wasn't just a bamboo stick in the water to them. It was plumbing, and they knew they were being conned. And this leads to the rhinos who literally prepare for war.
Rhinos, Assemble now.
I guess when the rhinos go into war mode, they get on all fours, and oh my god, it is terrifying. They are moving like aggressive oobleck. There is no consistency there. They must be simultaneously super strong, but also have demon-like flexibility for this to work out for them. Reminds me of that one meme of that guy who goes from standing to like wolf mode. So the rhinos show up at the good animals' place, and they just fucking trash everything. The thing about these films is that they just start to devolve as they go on, and I think that's because the writers and the animators and everyone just gets sick of it at this point. So I guess Pip is sad because the whole town is destroyed, and he decides that it's a good idea to go and mope by the watering hole. The entire pivoting point of the main conflict of this movie. He decides to just go there. How could you possibly justify that in the writing of the film? So Pip gets chased to the rhino camp by the evil rhino leader, and then he gets captured. And that's where he finds out the crux of the conflict. And that is, the rhinos are unhappy because they don't have girlfriends.
Khan, where are all the girls? Don't you miss having a female around once in a while? No wonder you're all so mean and surly all the livelong day. You need to get some girlfriends around here.
We don't need girlfriends. So just put a lid on it.
I like girlfriends.
I get it. They're lonely. They're lonely rhinos standing around waving. But I've never heard of a position where you're so lonely that your solution is to go and persecute other people. Like, why is that the next best option here? So Pip escapes from the punch-down crocodiles and he runs away. And of course, as is customary in the filmmaking industry, when the character is at its lowest, the filmmaker should add in a very sad song that is written to explain exactly why the character is feeling sad through the lyrics of the song.
Don't know a good thing until it's gone, long gone. You don't know a good thing until it's gone.
So Pip ends up at what I think was the original rhino village from the beginning of the movie, and it turns out that that's a female rhino camp. How do we tell that they're female rhinos, you ask? Well, they're wearing lipstick, and they've got a little bit of sass to them.
We don't need any men around here. In fact, we are anti-men.
So Pip essentially tells them, hey, there are some male rhinos over there, and I was wondering if you ladies were interested in, dating them. And they say, okay.
What would you say if I told you there is a large camp of available rhino boys right up the road? And they're just looking to meet some lovely ladies like yourselves.
We need some security around here for protection.
Yeah, girl, I agree. And I always wanted to have a big family.
All right, guys. From this point on, this is the point of no return in Robert D. Hanna's writing style, okay? He may have cared a little bit before. He may have given a bit of a shit, maybe a smidgen, maybe a little bit of a little raisin, maybe a little candy corn. He may have given a candy corn of a shit. He does not care anymore. He just goes off the rails with the writing here. I can't even explain what's going on after this point. So the next scene, they are in a rainforest themed bar, and they've essentially created a rainforest cafe without any of them having opposable thumbs, mind you, which also could have been solved if they had included a single monkey character in the film. You're perfectly at liberty to add a monkey character in here, Robert. This bar is like a club, and one of the rhinos is a bouncer, and now Pip is cool with the rhinos, okay? He's one of the boys now. But the crocodiles are not happy with Pip for whatever reason. Which is, of course, solved with Pip suddenly knowing how to do kung fu and attacking one of the crocodiles. So everything's resolved with the animals now. Everyone's happy. They're chilling. It's a good time. But oh, there's a twist. Pip's owners show up. We didn't expect that at all. So then there's this weird scene where the boy wants to bring Pip back home with him, but then Pip's like, nah, man. I like it here. And the parents and the safari guide are just kind of sitting in the car waiting for the conversation to end. But then in the reverse shot, there's like rhinos just chatting, drinking, and hanging out, talking in English. And the crocodiles are just over there sitting at the bar, drinking from mugs. They went on a safari to see wild animals, and now they're looking at the wild animals, and the wild animals are drinking at a bar that they built. Like, come on. Like, what? So then Pip decides to stay because nobody didn't expect that. And then the boy just says that he'll visit, like, every year, I guess.
Okay, Pip. We'll come back, boy, and we'll pay you a visit every year.
And then that's the end of the film. He just kind of fucking stays. So that's Life's a Jungle, Africa's Most Wanted. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and comment below and tell me if you know of like any weird movies that I could look at, because I really do enjoy going through them and having a grand old time. As I mentioned before, make sure to go to the link in the description and check out the merch that I launched. I worked really hard on it, and I hope that you guys like it. This is the last video that I'm going to be doing in this childhood home of mine, because I'm actually moving out to LA. And I literally would not have been able to do it without your guys' support, because I do this for a living now. Hope you're doing well. Peace, bitches.